evening. Welcome to the Ham Radio Clubhouse Tuesday night. I keep wanting to say this to Tuesday night edition because it seems like we should be doing this more than once a night, more than once a week. But
hush your face.
Oh,
hush
no?
your
Okay.
face.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes. Now wait a minute. Your original contract said you read all other duties assigned.
Oh yeah,
My
I got
original
all of them.
contract said we was doing this show once a month, and then somebody at the end of the first show said, "See you next Tuesday."
Those Canadians will swindle into you. That was Molson. Molson said that. See?
Always good to be here, guys. We have got a fantastic guest tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I want to say hello to everybody in green. Those are our channel members. Thank you for supporting the channel. We appreciate you being out there. Welcome back to the viewers on Twitch. We had to do some reconfiguring on the Twitch side to make that happen again. So let's see, already a couple folks have jumped in there. That's probably Steve and I. But, but thanks for joining us over on Twitch, if you so desire. Joe Brett, man, how you been? We missed you.
Been doing good, man. Yeah. So, what was it? Yeah. So the power bill for the Ice Age came through, and I had an opportunity to make almost half of what the bill was worth over a couple of nights. So I went ahead and took that opportunity. Unfortunately, it knocked me out last Tuesday night being here. And then we got paid, and I guess my wife decided that, we can manage it. Just use it for your lunch money. So
you bought an amplifier?
Nah.
Yes, of course. You already had one. So you buy another one.
Need to use the one I got.
I don't know why you don't, man. It's just like arm's reach. You could be slaying all those contests.
Is that a solid state where you?
No, that's the issue. I got to turn knobs and watch needles, and
never mind.
got time for all that, man.
Nope. I bet you somebody in here would do some swap around in with you that wants one of those, that likes the dips and all that kind of good stuff.
It does work pretty good. If I find a pile up on a station that I'm having a little trouble at 100 watts, then I'll push my way through sometimes.
Kind of like I did on Mike's tree.
Yeah, but in some cases it don't work. So
that's true. I was trying to get him for like 45 minutes, and then finally I just figured, okay, I'm just going to wait about 20 seconds after he says QRZ. And I was like, I'll either be the last one or I'll step on somebody. So
yeah, and
out.
Shane, you caused trust issues between me and Mike, because every time I make contact with him now, he's like, "You remote or actually at home?" I made contact with him one time remotely.
Hey, a contact is a contact, man.
If it's Shane that's remote, I can pretty much guarantee
almost always, but not always.
Yeah,
I do still have my 7300. I do have my infed. I just have to switch. We're moving next week, so we're still question mark if I'm going to make next week's show if I get moved in time. But the new neighbor downstairs is like the Karen of all Karens. I haven't gotten another note on the door yet, thankfully, from moving too loudly. But the new place should have the same ability for me to put a wire up. So I'll still plan on working a little bit from the house. The floor. I'm curious to see how the noise floor over there is compared to here, because I think that building has a couple of units that aren't being rented right now. So I might get lucky. You never know.
You never know.
Izzo, how you been, man?
I got a couple quick things I want, and I mean quick. You guys know when I say quick, you know what that means. 30 minutes later, and Izzo is still
or 45.
He's doing ratchet jaw. No. Some quick things. First off, tonight's cigar. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. That's called the Flathead. This is an 8x60. Guys, this is a big boy. If you
That's a big cigar.
If you like Gurkha, if you have not tried the Gurkha line, I highly recommend it. If you like trying new cigars, a nice Dominican, Nicaraguan blend, this is brand new in their line. It's called the Resonator, and
how fitting on a Ham Radio's YouTube show.
Now, here's the thing about the cigar. It is a box press, and some guys don't like box pressed, but
those are my favorite.
But it's not really a box press. Once you look at it, feel it, touch it, put it in your mouth, it's a very good 2-hour plus cigar. And why? For tonight, Because sometimes we go longer than 2 hours, and I'm like, I kind of need some more cigar. So
especially with tonight's guest. This might be another marathon because he's got a lot to chat about.
Yeah, he's almost. I'm not saying he's like a Molson, but he's almost like a Molson. No, he's a good guy. I like him. I was watching a lot of his stuff today. I got caught up on some stuff, him and a few other channels, and I really like this. I really like what this guy's doing.
TJS 1.0 with a $5 super chat. Good evening, Clubhouse fellas. Thanks, buddy.
All right. So the other thing, Jason released Ham Radio 2.0 released a video. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's a bipartisan bill that's being introduced right now from a Republican and a Democratic regarding some HOA changes of allowing HOA operators to set up stuff. Read the bill very carefully before you just, in my opinion, before you just go contacting somebody. Read it, guys, because there's a lot of open-endedness of the verbiage. Will it include current? Will it only be new? What is determined? Because some of these HOAs are very crafty when they write their language from the lawyers, the sharks of the world.
Are you saying that congressmen write bills with ill-intended purposes hidden in languages?
No, never.
No, and I'll keep my personal and I'll keep my personal opinions to myself for after the show, and I'll tell you why. But anyway, because sometimes in an HOA document you'll see no antennas, but a dish is okay. We all know in our world a dish is an antenna. Stop it with the nomenclature. Did I say that right? Of what that all close enough. Of what that all an antenna is an antenna is an antenna. It's very simple. So just be careful. I'm not saying don't support it, and I'm not saying support. Just be careful. And as you know, when these things get written, things change as they go through the process. So when you say you're supporting something now, it may change down the line where all of a sudden you personally may not like it. As everything else, buyer beware. That's all I'm going to say. But I am all in favor. I am all in favor of anything that is positive for this hobby, whether I use it or not. And you guys know that. You know that. So my rant is over with that. I'm tired of the cold. I'm tired of cold. I'm turning into this old man. I'm putting in this old man.
Move to Texas.
I'm going to have to.
It's 70. It was over 70 degrees today.
That was my thermostat today.
Ew.
No.
Mine doesn't ever go over 66 whenever the heat's turned on.
It's been sitting at 67, but the winds have been blowing real hard. I had to kick it up to 68. I don't know. I'm just turning into this old curmudgeon where I just want some warmer weather and I want to be able to sit on the bench and play some POTA. I've been doing. Yesterday 10 meters was jamming. 10 meters. I worked a whole bunch of Texas guys. I worked into Missouri, Arizona. Normally don't do that on 10 meters, guys. I hope everybody's playing radio one way or another. Go out and play your radio.
Here's the 10-day forecast, Izzo. 76, 73, 70, 74, 79, 80, 81, 65, and 61.
All right, we'll take care of that right there.
That's my forecast for you. No, I'm just being old. I'm just being cranky because I want some warmer weather. Listen, dude,
I don't blame you.
Dude, I'll take 50 right. This is what happens. And guess what? And I really shouldn't be saying anything because like the boys like where is he? Scout 75. He's probably his high was probably 20 today. He's probably already telling me, he's probably saying, Izzo, shut up. I get it. Chicago has had a
Ben's
ton
probably
of snow.
telling you to shut up too.
All right. Then I'm going to shut up. My rant is over. I'm done.
That's not what I'm saying. Because he lives further north than you.
Yes, he
does. Steve, man, how are you? Because I don't want to keep Ben waiting too much longer. It's gonna be a big show. What you got, buddy?
Dropped 2 videos this week. Not one, but 2.
I saw the alerts.
Mind blowing. I saw that.
And good videos too, man. Good videos.
Thank you. I'm working on a few more. I think I've got at least 5 in the pipe ready to go, but I'm going to slow roll them. So
you're not going to pull a Joe Brett?
No, not going to blow them all at once.
5 in one day.
5 in one day. Or one video back to back every day.
And they're not hamcation videos. So it's other stuff I've been working on.
I'm glad you recorded Digital Rancher,
Yeah.
Rob, and that because his stream, because the cell service around there sucked so bad, his stream was so choppy, and I felt bad because I was trying to tell him, I was like, oh my God, it's falling apart. Like we're getting every other word. Sometimes it'll freeze and we'll get just audio. So I'm glad you recorded that, but that was a really good pass of him working satellites.
That was an amazing pass. It was great to see in person. So makes me want to get into satellites. So.
Hey guys, I do have one question for Joe Brett now.
Uh-oh.
Ever since we found out he wears the Crocs, I have been on a mission, Joe.
The Crocs.
The Mission Impossible song is playing.
Uh-huh.
And I have chosen to accept it. What do you call the things that you put in the Crocs with the doodad jewelry? What do you call that?
There ain't no doodads to go in my Crocs but my toes.
All right. Well,
You're looking at the wrong kind, man. I ain't upper class, dude. Upper class.
Oh, put the
I know you wear
the bedazzled Crocs.
The bedazzled Crocs. Listen, I know he has the cameo. I know he has the cowboy
put some
boots.
Dazzle stuff in that thing, man.
See, I wouldn't even put my foot in that thing. Jeez, that wasn't a washing machine, son.
I can smell that thing from here.
I know, right?
Yeah,
the first thing it came up, I was like, that smells like tuna.
Yeah, that thing looks prehistoric. Let me see that thing again. That looks like a dinosaur.
It's got a raptor fang hanging out of the front of it.
You ought to see my good pair. I keep those in the closet.
Is it shiny? Is it all shiny?
It's like Sunday Crocs.
Yeah, there's Sunday Crocs and funeral Crocs. That's what he wears. And going to court.
The court Crocs. Yeah.
Court Crocs. No, seriously, you don't put none of that.
I got a deal on those.
All right, because I'm trying to find you a microphone. I'm really trying to find you the microphone
for his Crocs.
For his Crocs.
Nobody'd ever see him.
I haven't found it. Listen, I have found the American flag.
Dollar General, Mike.
Yes, no, I've been Dollar General, famous footwears. Have you
been to the truck stop?
No, not yet.
See.
All right.
It's probably there.
All right. Okay. I want to find him a microphone.
Man, y'all be hating on Crocs, but I got one pair of Crocs that you would never know. That I actually have to show people the tag on them before they believe.
Are they incognito?
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Shane.
Hey, Shane. You know what I want?
Don't quit your job.
I would have embarrassed to say this, but I bought it only because they're incredible. I wanted a certain kind of like one of those loafer boat shoes they call them, but I don't call them boat shoes because I don't have a boat. Okay, but I just wanted something comfortable.
You live close enough to the water.
Yeah, he does.
There you go. Okay. But I'm not that kind of a crowd. I'm just an average guy. I'm just an average guy who just wants just leave me alone, have fun, have a cigar, play some radio, eat some lobster. Love your family. Say I say the Our Father every night. We're good to go. Okay. Mm-hmm. Skechers had these slip-on, and it's a Sketcher. And I'm like, I don't wear Skechers. Because I thought of the athletic. I thought of let's get physical back in the 80s and all that. All that. Aerobic people. I am not aerobic by any chance at all. But
that was never a question.
Correct. You'll say that at my funeral, won't you? He was not aerobic.
You see him pushing that snowblower.
Right.
But when I put my foot into these things, it was like heaven. Mm-hmm. And the first words I said was, I'll bet you I know what Joe Brett feels like when he puts on his Crocs. I tried on the Crocs. They're not for me. I can't pull it off, but they are. I give you that. They are very comfortable. So,
nice.
And they do have Croc boots now.
I've seen the cowboy boots, and I've seen like the work boots ones.
Those were limited edition. The cowboy boots were limited edition. If you can find them now,
you might as well buy a new radio.
You might as well buy an HF radio. Yeah.
Did they do a steel toe or some type of
no?
No.
Not in the Croc.
Well, I didn't know if OSHA approved that one.
God, no.
It's like all foam and a little bit of steel up front for the toes.
Yeah. All right. I'm good now.
Well, let's jump to it.
Hang on, I got a couple more things.
Okay, Ben, get ready.
I'm sorry. Yep. I'm sorry, Steve. I'm sorry.
I'm giving him the 2-minute warning.
Yep, it's all good.
He might have to go pee. He said he was nervous.
The South Carolina QSO party. My buddy Jeff, who's in the chat, will be out at one of the parks. I'm probably going to go crash his party on Saturday, get on the air for a little bit. And then this asshole keeps jumping on my radio when I'm in the shack trying to work on videos or something, and gets
jumping on your radio.
Yes,
As in like
I'll
like
hear
stepping on it.
No, I'll hear the damn rotator move where the bands change.
Oh, you mean like a guy who's using it remotely? You mean.
From Texas.
Yeah.
From Texas.
And then he gets this D-Expedition and doesn't tell me it's a D-Expedition. But I got to set the radio up for split for this asshole.
I set it up myself.
That's not a bro move. Come on, Shane.
I texted him and said, "Hey, they're still there. You should come get them." He's like, "I already left the house."
Yep.
Yeah.
I got to go shopping.
His Shane was like a little stray. You know, you let him use the radio one time, and he just keeps coming back on the porch. Won't go away.
Yep, pretty much. But yeah, there's Jeff, Alfalfa 4
you
Bravo
feed
Charlie.
the cat.
Yeah.
You feed
And
the
he got
cat.
him
See what
today,
I'm.
So.
Yep. And we also learned that if Steve leaves the monitor on and I key up, it blows his eardrum out. That was the
Yes,
other
it
one.
does.
So, so now every time I go to use his radio, I turn the monitor off, and if it's not too early, I'll text him and say, "Hey, I'm about to key up. You good?"
I was gonna say, don't worry about being too early, because bro, I'm
James-
up at 4.
And James Hannibal, there is a T-shirt somewhere in there. The bag of bro trouble. There is Clubhouse is a bag of bro trouble. There's your next T-shirt, my friend.
We already have a T-shirt about Shane's banana and his RF, so I think I've ruined James's site enough. So sorry, buddy. Well, let's jump into it, Ben. Let me bring you to the stage, my friend. We're gonna change this.
Open that cellar door.
Change this up a little bit. Y'all know him as Ham Radio Rookie, Ben VE6SFX. Welcome to the Clubhouse, man.
Well, thank you for having me.
Sorry you had to wait so long.
You are
No,
definitely not
okay.
a rookie. You are not a rookie.
I just took my Crocs off and I peed in them. They don't hold the water well,
but your feet were nice and warm.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose. Do you have like the off-road Crocs that have like the strap, or those high-speed, high-performance Crocs with the?
I don't have Crocs, but I've been joking.
Good
I have
on
these
you.
slip-on shoes that I used to walk out into my garage with, and I was telling my family, "You got to get me shop Crocs," and I was hoping they'd be steel-toed ones, but nothing like that. But
I'm waiting for the ones that come up with the big old knobbies on them, the big old like knobby tire one. That's what we need.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what they should do is do like the 16-hole lace ups that go up your up your leg.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about
SAR says all-terrain shop Crocs.
Jody, you're right. Jody is correct.
Jody says the all-terrain shop Crocs. Fellow Canadian.
If you want a mic, just get me a picture. I'm good at computer aided design. I'll just 3D print you one and send one out to you.
I think James might beat you to it.
I know, right?
He's gonna start selling bro Crocs.
James sells
you gotta do
everything.
something like really obnoxious though, like a huge mic, and then have like some sort of arm that like extends out on a spring.
James is going to have the Crocs that have the, well, I probably shouldn't say that, the built-in boy material in the back. That's a PC way of saying it.
The truck nuts?
Yeah, the truck nuts for your Crocs. The Croc nuts.
We're 20 minutes in. We're good.
Yeah, as long as we're past that like first couple of minute mark when the YouTube says, you used a cuss word, we're going to ban you.
Did I? Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
No.
I'm usually pretty bad, so I take everything in me.
Have you watched the show?
Okay, dude, I'm ex-infantry and I'm a Canadian. What do you think comes out of my mouth normally?
Fair warning. That's a warning shot right there.
So this podcast will be ranked as explicit from the beginning.
Absolutely.
And sponsored by Crocs.
Sponsored by Crocs. We should work on that.
Crocs and dew wipes.
We need to get Beer Snack onto that, because Beer Snack, we were supposed to mention that Beer Snack is okay. He is working some overtime. He's paying the government. He paid the Clubhouse tax bill so we can stay on the air. So So Beer Snack, thanks so much, man. We'll see you when you can be here.
Thank you, Beer Snack.
10-month shout out from Chris Radio and Life. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a channel supporter for 10 months. That's fantastic, guy, man.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me take a drink.
Slacker.
You say 5 words. I host the show.
Yep. What are you drinking tonight?
Tonight's Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
Oh, a lot of guys.
I mean, iced tea.
Yeah. Oh, the boss is watching. Got it.
Oh no.
Hey Ben, Ben, are you any type of favorite beverage? Any favorite beverage you like?
Yeah, I'm a Scotch guy, and like one of my favorites is Laforag. So it's like a
The
really
peat bomb.
smoky, peaty. Yeah,
I can't do it. I've tried.
you know, the one I just mentioned, the Laforag, it's an interesting one because it doesn't taste like dirt. The best way to describe it's like drinking smoke, and then the aftertaste is like licorice. It just warps your mind. And I think the only reason I drink it is because
aftertaste to me tastes like the way a back of a Band-Aid smells, like the glue on a Band-Aid. That's what it tastes like. I'm
Dude,
like,
I just smell that all the time. That's great. Oh my god.
Mario,
oh, then you would love peated scotch.
Band-Aid.
if I ever come back, I gotta just put Band-Aids over my face.
All right, well, let's jump into this. Ben, welcome to the show again. Let's start out with your ham radio rookie. So I'm assuming this is a relatively new hobby. What brought you into this mess?
I'm 11 months old. So,
oh, he's the baby ham.
I know. Still got my diapers and my training wheel.
Okay.
I'm still working on my boat thing.
We all know.
But why ham radio? What was the life choice that made you decide to do ham radio?
You know, it goes way back when I was first born. when I was like 14 or so at a secondhand store in my hometown, there was a ham radio and I bought it and kind of, monkeyed around and listened to it. And my dad put me on to a guy in town that does ham radio, and it seemed all interesting, but it was back in the day when you needed to do CW and like a 14-year-old in CW, it's just like, no, I don't got time for that. As far as the electronics and everything goes, I could have written the test way back then, but it's just wasn't my thing. So it kind of just dropped off to the side. And then, fast forward, God, like 40 years, it's disgusting. At any rate,
right there with you,
I had like a little medical emergency, and I ended up having to sort of sit around my house for a while. And while I was doing that, I'm thinking I got to do something to keep my brain busy. So I was watching YouTube, and I actually saw Josh Nash on the Modern Road.
Modern Road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I thought, you know what? Why not? So I figured I got some books and started studying for it. And it turned out that I started reading the book, and I'm like, I already know all this stuff. And the CW, I didn't actually need anymore. So I ended up taking my exam, like literally a week later, and did well. So here I am.
Awesome. The only CW I know is up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, select, start. That's all I know.
And is that where the fireball goes?
Yep, you got it.
See, I'm not a gamer. That's a big win for me to identify that one.
That was for Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And many others as a cheat code. So you got into ham radio.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the eyeballs behind your head is freaking me out. Sorry. Over your right shoulder.
I was doing an eye spy.
And I was like, should I tell him?
I was doing the eye spy, and I'm like, I spy. And they're like,
there's cameras in it. I'm telling you.
Right?
I'm looking at the Elmer's. I'm looking at the Elmer's glue in the corner.
I've been waiting for him to blink.
I never thought about that, but I should, if I throw batteries into it, I can make that happen. But not
every once in a while. Make it like everyone goes, what?
Yeah. No, so like I worked movies and special effects, and I worked on Fraggle Rock, and some of the guys that I work with, some local puppet makers, they had some eyeballs and stuff, and I was like, hey, I could use some eyeballs.
Like the original Fraggle Rock.
No, the second, the new reboot that's on. Is it on Netflix or is it on Apple TV? I can't remember.
Because growing up, that was one of my favorite.
I was gonna say,
I
TV
remember
shows.
that. Yeah, Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
Okay,
all the new
awesome.
Doozer mobiles and stuff that I got to build and make the remote controls and make all that.
Wow,
happen.
very
It was a lot
cool.
of fun.
Look at you, man! Wow, we got a celebrity here tonight.
Right?
I would have put on a better shirt.
Feature films, just TVs, or I was about to say, I'm wearing this. I'm wearing this quirky one. I gotta go.
The second last Predator. No, this was the last Predator. I worked on the last two, but that's
Wow.
That's insane. And special effects, I'm assuming, or just
Yeah,
robotics,
special
or
effects
what
and
kind of
props.
stuff?
I do this crossover thing, so like I not only can I build like remote control and weird things, is that I can actually make them look pretty. And it's having somebody that sort of bridges those two worlds is really rare, and it's really good for me, financially, because if you're rare,
Yeah.
You're a hot commodity.
You bring a premium price.
Yeah.
So where did that come from? Was just something that you stumbled into, that you were good at making stuff, or was it? Have you been kind of like a crafty person outside of? I mean, where did that come from?
I grew up with like a shop that was like better, like, we had lathes and mills and wood shop and like car mechanics, like you name it. My dad was like, if it was a tool, he had to have it. And so I grew up in that kind of environment, and I just built everything. And, later on I became an aeronautical engineer after I got out of the military. And
Izzo, you need to go change.
Why?
Aeronautical engineer, special effects, ham radio.
I know.
He is completely out of uniform tonight.
So,
I know.
But the thing is I've always been known as MacGyver. Like I ended up finding that I ended up with a consultant business, and I did everything from like baby change tables to satellite stuff. And basically what it boils down to is I'm too stupid to say it can't be done. So when everybody else says no, they usually come to me and go, "Can you do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then, I spend the next few months completely crapping my pants trying to figure out exactly how to get myself out of the hole I just dug. And so, but there was a friend of mine was working on The Revenant that was being filmed in Calgary, and they said they were looking, the special effects supervisor was looking for a crazy engineer, and she's like, "I first thought of you."
Got the perfect one.
Thank you.
We know this guy.
I got a guy.
Yeah. And so I ended up flying out to Vancouver, and I had no idea what it was for. And the next thing you know is I'm signing these sheets, and then I look at the title block, and it was for Star Trek Beyond. And I was like,
"Oh,
yeah." They don't tell you that up front.
Yeah, and so I ended up designing up two of the largest rotating sets ever made in movie history.
Gee, I'm gonna go change.
I did good enough that they keep asking me back. So
hey Ben, have you been on anyone else's? Have you been on Coffee and Ham Radio show yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh damn! I wanted to beat him to it. We just heard. All right,
we don't
Jen.
care. We don't care. It's not a competition.
No Russian. I know, but
yeah,
but
we might have talk radio tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know
we get to drop the F-bomb and not get pulled right here.
Jim doesn't like the new Star Trek, so he's like,
oh, please, he's a softie. But Ben,
Jim, go pound
Ben, yeah, Ben, you've got enough going on in your life. How do you fit ham? Now, how do you carve in some time for ham radio? How does that?
You get sick and you get thrown onto a couch. Now, I'm normally the kind of guy that spends 16 hours of his day like completely freaking out trying to figure out how to build things. Right. You get bored really quick.
Absolutely.
So ham radio is a great way to fill the brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then since I was doing that, and while I'm getting better, and before I'm getting back into work, I had what seemed to be like a stroke, and we're still not sure if it was a stroke or not, but like without the medications I'm taking now, I shake like really, really bad. So it makes it really hard to do some of the work I normally would do. So I've been filling my brain with ham radio stuff, and I dove in head first, and because I design and make things differently than anybody else I know, like at the risk of sounding braggy, I don't know anybody that designs things like I do. So I was seeing things like antennas and whatnot, and why isn't anybody trying this? Why aren't they doing that? So a
Faraday cloth for an antenna instead of just putting a Faraday cloth on the bottom.
Izzo, we got something better.
Well,
I'm glad we're segueing into this.
But there was something else. There's another antenna design, and I'll just hold off for a minute. But
because not only we'll get to the Faraday cloth in a minute, but have you ever seen anyone that was able to make a can of ham an antenna?
It's tasty. Oh man, it tastes so good.
Can you tune a ham? There you go.
I was gonna say, did you cook the ham while it was?
It turns out that can of ham is 70 centimeters perfectly. I did.
Oh my god!
Testing the build.
It resonates on the ham band. Go figure.
Perfectly. It's insane how well it resonates.
A can of ham. Some other projects include the 2-meter duct tape antenna. What's the 2-meter duct tape antenna?
Well, so John Portune and all them were talking about using foil tape on sonotubes in HOA attic antennas. And I started thinking, well, I wonder if you could, and I was building some copper pipe J poles and then using like 1/8-inch line and 1/4-inch line, like the bendable stuff versus like, soldering stuff together. Mm-hmm. But it's heavy and clumsy and it's a pain in the butt. And I started thinking, well, I wonder if I could just use the tape. And I'm like, well, I got to tape the tape down onto something. And it's the way my mind works is that thought came into my head. I look down on my desk and there's a roll of duct tape and I'm like, oh, perfect. It's about 2 inches wide. This should work out great. And yeah, I tried it. It worked out like great is an understatement. The oh my God, words are tough for me right now. The SWR curve on this is a lot. So yeah, it works. It works incredibly well. So I take it out to my backyard, I hang it up, and I'm thinking, there's no way this is going to work. I hit it, and people are going, "Yeah, you're coming in full quality to the repeater." So I luckily had the camera rolling because I'm dying laughing. I'm trying to tell them I'm talking to you on a piece of duct tape, and they're like, "What?"
Because I mentioned before the show started, Mike K at MRD did 2 pieces of solder and talked to hit a repeater with that. But a tuna can, or not tuna can, I keep wanting to call it a tuna can because I don't know if we have canned ham. I know we have canned chicken. Canned chicken.
You have that stuff down there. And the canned chicken, as disgusting, the whole chicken that comes out of can. When I was down in Florida, that is boiled peanuts. I'm telling you that it's gross, but it tastes good.
Boiled peanuts.
You do sound effects too. Nice.
Right. So what's the magnetic BNC antenna attachment?
Well, so if you
and
want
that looks beautiful, by the way.
I liked it. I liked it.
Look at that.
The thing is that you have all these guys, they're screwing their BNC connectors into like a pipe, and it's not in the right spot, so they drill another hole and they drill another hole. And since I was using tape, I thought, well, wait a minute, if I just put a magnet on it, and this is that thing is so amazing because if you make pretty much any antenna whatsoever and figure out on the backside, if it's not magnetic, throw on the backside, throw another magnet just so it clamps down. But then you can start playing with the SWR and seeing where the SWR is and the log mag and seeing how they all interact. So you start moving the pieces around and it works great. So on that one, what you see has 2 really long legs. I don't recommend you do that normally. That's my test one. And that's just so I can do things have it 2 inches apart along, say, a J pole to find out if I offset the feed points. Does that make any difference? In the end, it doesn't, but at least, I had the chance to figure it out.
That's crazy. Yeah. So we have, Jody says, chicken out of a can as a delicacy. Ben definitely was in infantry. Too many IMPs.
Oh, hell yeah. So in Canada, we had one, there were 2 IMPs that Ben was not allowed to eat, and that was ordered by my commanding officer. Okay, so one is they had cabbage rolls, and if I ate one, cabbage rolls give me gas, but the ones in the bag would give me extra gas. And if I ate 2 in a row, it was brutal. If I ate 3 in a row, there's a steady gas coming out the back end of Ben. So I'd go out of my way to eat as many of those as I could because that way I would always have my own tent. Right?
No one wants to bunk with
what do you
Ben.
think?
Ben smells.
And it was so
bad.
fleeting, you know.
Stay
I
up,
just had
Win.
to,
Stay up, Win.
pilot and-
So we have to do
But
a
then-
quick shout out right quick to Dell. Dell Pack is now an amateur
Hey,
extra.
nice.
Congratulations on that upgrade. Appreciate
Excellent.
it, guys.
We're happy for you.
And on that note, we have a testing session coming up. And I believe
Next
it's the
Wednesday.
27th.
Next
Is
Wednesday.
that the date? What's the date on that?
27th or 28th?
28th at 7 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
So if you want to take a test, whether you want to get your technician, you want to upgrade, come join us. We've got plenty of VEs. And Steve has 47 breakout rooms, so we can run 150 people at a time. So
Holy cow.
come on, let's do it. Anyway, back to the show.
So the second IMP we have, it was a breakfast one, and it's like the egg omelet, and they don't make this anymore. And I kid you not, everybody called it the lung in a bag. And I was the only one that would eat it. But the problem is that like nobody could watch me eat it because they found it so disturbing, right? But
You broke it. You broke it.
oh, dude, we got bumped from this trench line on a UN workup thing. So you dig your trench, and the enemy comes and you drop everything and you run, kind of thing. Like you'll move back and then you take them over later. Where you're not like the French runaway thing, But so I dropped my lung in a bag on my trench, and we came back 2 weeks later. It was still there, glistening, untouched by bugs.
Wow. They didn't even touch it. Wow. And here I am thinking, you guys are making me eat barbecue potato chips. I should be lucky. This guy has gone a hell of a lot further than me.
All out. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to bring you some haggis potato chips. So.
Oh my.
What is it? Haggis?
Haggis potato chips.
No, they don't.
How do you get that flavor into potato chips?
No.
Freeze dry it.
The same spices that go into turkey dressing go into haggis. A lot of people don't understand.
What is haggis? Wait. What is haggis?
Oh,
I don't
no.
know what haggis. What is
Haggis?
I'll
Haggis
Google it.
is this. It's a Scottish sausage. It's made of what's called offal. So everything on the butcher's block that falls on the ground it falls off, right? So it's called offal. That's the genesis of the word. And they grind all of that crap up and throw some oatmeal
Put it in the
in and all
sausage
these
tube.
spices into a sheep's stomach, and then you cook it.
Yeah.
Is a savory
Joe looks
pudding.
like he's about to blow chunks.
I know, right?
Joe, you better drink. You better have a drink of that tin cup.
That would be the wrong time. Yeah. So it's a savory pudding contained.
Pretty much. It's one step
Pudding
up
of
from the
meat.
pudding.
It's meat. It's meat mush. That's called pudding.
Really?
Wait, all
There's
right.
no pudding
Yeah.
about it.
Minced
It's
with
like
onion,
this meaty,
oatmeal, and
greasy
suet.
stuffing.
What is
It's got
SUET?
heart, liver, lungs, everything in it. Oh my
Everything.
God.
Oh, yeah.
What's
I think
the
only thing
oatmeal
that
for?
doesn't get put in there is the intestines that they wash out and they just throw
They
everything back
case it
into
in.
it.
I was going to say.
What's the oatmeal for? To hold it inside of the casing?
Yep.
I will never. I will
I
never
have
put
no
down
idea.
barbecue potato chip. I will not put down barbecue.
So the military unit I was in was the Calgary Highlanders. So we wore kilts and the whole bit. So Canada has these weird units, and I was in one of them. I know, big surprise. Been in a weird thing, right? But
It's par for the course.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 45 Auto says haggis is the organs that even the English wouldn't take to the Scots.
Our chat,
Okay,
our chat guys are great.
Exactly. So back to the crazy inventions, because we were talking about Digital Rancher.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I'll take
Beautiful
a pass
photo,
on that.
It still
you
looks
gotta
like it's
try it
wrapped in
once.
saran wrap or something.
You got to try
Well,
it
it's not
once.
saran wrap, son.
no, that's sheep
stapled
intestine.
together on each
Right?
end.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's not enough gravy in the world that's going to make that taste good. There's not
You'd be
enough
surprised.
Don't throw gravy on haggis. You eat it with turnips. God.
Right.
No. Goodbye.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring this back to radio.
Oh, I know now.
Oh man, that
We were
train
invited-
jumped
Oh
the
my
track.
God, dude! Will it
Jumped the
ham?
track.
I want to find out if it will it haggis.
Will it haggis?
If you ever invite Ben out to supper, he's probably going to be disappointed in your choices. So.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't play any music or anything, but Dane C., thank you for becoming a YouTube member. We greatly appreciate the support.
Yeah.
I don't get to see what level or anything like that, but either way, we don't care. Thanks for your support.
Yep.
You don't do like the jazz thing?
No.
We're civilized in this court.
Yeah.
So,
bagpipes.
yeah,
Plays the
exactly.
bagpipes. Yeah.
So back to what your creations, and we were talking to Rob, Digital Rancher, and he has this elk antenna that he works satellites on, and I was just looking through your site here, and you have an ultralight pocket-sized Yagi. Is that monoband or can you make it dual band?
Oh no, that's dual band. All my stuff, like it's tuned for 2 meters, but like if you look at my Faraday, the Faraday that we'll get to, it's tuned for 2 meters, but it's tuned for 2 meters, like it's 1.1 to 1 max across the band. 70 centimeters is 1.3, so it's not made for 70 centimeters, but it's workable.
But it works. You put enough wattage through it. I mean, you just lose 1 out of 50 or 1 out of 25, 1 watt of loss. It's not bad. So Digital Rancher wants to try this Yagi, apparently. So you have a fan
Yagi,
here.
I did, what was it? 70 kilometers. So it's 50 miles and full quieting to a repeater.
Wow.
And then I did shoot out 174 kilometers. They could hear me at the repeater, but I couldn't hear them. So that I'm going to blame it on the radio. It had nothing to do with the antenna.
That works with the exactly. I deny it.
You talk about 70 centimeters and the SWR. I've come to the conclusion when it comes to antennas that 70 centimeters just gets pissed off that it's always put on the same antenna as 2 meters because it's always got a slightly higher SWR, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it does, and there's one thing's kind of neat is I'm looking at doing people who have bought my antenna today. I should be able to do a little upgrade, and it will literally be this little tape on thing. So if you take the Faraday cloth and you lay it over top of a piece of plastic, and then tape that plastic down onto the J pole at a certain distance, that will work as a capacitive choke. You can literally tape on a capacitor using this stuff. It's really kind of fascinating.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now I want to try the pocket-sized Yagi for working satellites.
I bet it's lighter than the elk.
The thing is that if we make that one for satellites and we're doing 70 centimeters, then it's half the size.
Well, it'll be 2 meters up or 2 meters down, and it's like the inverse. Some are 2 meters up and 70 centimeters down. Mm-hmm. Some are 70 centimeters up and 2 meters down.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, because this is the rookie in me. I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, there's most of them, and Rob, correct me if I'm completely wrong, but most all of them, other than the transponder ones, are split. So you go up on one side and down on the other.
Yeah.
So this would be perfect for that, and much lighter than the elk or the arrow antenna.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I'm working on one where I've taken it from that tarp material down to I'm using door screen, so the fiberglass door screen, and sewing on some of the Faraday fabric, and it folds into like about the size of the palm of your hand, and then you've got a bunch of fiberglass rods and a 3D print to carry.
No, I couldn't help but think everybody probably could have fun with that antenna, but Izzo, he would take it to the trees on Poto.
No, but here's what I think. I think I got to go visit. I'm gonna visit Izzo, and we're just gonna tape an antenna to his tent.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But can we make a helix antenna that's made out of this material? That's the next challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a helix antenna, you don't have to worry about it. So Digital Rancher says I'm right. Same on the linear transponders. Okay.
Mark it
up on one, down on the other.
Okay. Interesting.
So now we have a new thing to try.
Yep. Well, I've got okay, so we'll make the smaller Yagi, but I've got the receiving antenna for you. Just hold on one second.
All it is breaking news, guys. Look at this. What's he gonna pull out of his bag of tricks?
This is the antenna.
That was a funny video, man. That was a very funny video that you did.
I haven't seen
Is that a signal stuff? Or a signal stick hanging out of
that's
that?
That's from Reynolds Wrap. That's from Reynolds Wrap, my friend.
Yeah, the glow in the dark signal
A
stick
lot
would
of
be
people
great.
don't realize that big foil is trying to get into your mind, right?
You broke Shane.
I kind of like Shane.
Oh,
He laughs at my jokes.
He
There's so
just
few
fell.
people
He
that
just
do. They
fell.
just don't get it.
Oh God, the visual just got me because I can see Rob out there with this giant foil thing on his head and a yagi in one hand,
Hey,
and
anybody
he's
in my
having to
video
twist his
and-
head like
and
this to
here
make
too?
sure he has it correct.
In my video and here too, don't put this on your head, okay? I don't care if it's 5 watts. Just don't put it on your head.
No, put it on the receive side. You don't need to know the
Right,
transmit
but
side.
can you imagine Rob at the park and a whole bunch of
Do it
kids?
like- do it
Look
like
at that!
this.
Look at that guy, Dad! Look at this guy, Dad! He's
You put a tassel at the top and you can do the whirling dervish thing with his head. That would actually make the coil antenna. If you move your head fast enough, you spin together.
That would have been great at Huntsville when we was out there at the little park.
Oh, you know, somebody in
planetarium.
August is going to have that. You know that already. That's already going on someone's to-do list to bring. You know that.
Right? All right, let's take a break here. Kevin, Transmit Indiana, thanks for being here for 6 months. We appreciate it. Ham Till It Hurts, member for 5 months, slipped on the Crocs, turn off the Jazz. Ham Radio Clubhouse, this is the way. Man, you can't say it any better than that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if I can turn Crocs into like a ground antenna.
A ground plane.
A receive loop.
The problem is
you
they're small enough that you got to run microwave through it. So it's like my toes are getting warm. I can't quite figure it out.
All of a sudden, my toes are kind of burning.
Smells
My
like
feet are
bread.
warm.
Smells like burnt tuna.
That would go good with the little snow plows.
I'm not going to be smelling that. You don't whiff
Okay, I
that.
do apologize. This is completely off the rails, and it's mostly my fault.
Welcome
seen our
to
show?
the clubhouse. That's
Yeah.
it. That's how this works. That's how it works. So we've done tuna, we've done ultralight Yagis, and now I want to bring up, because this is what brought you on here originally, because Mike was like, "This is the greatest thing since sliced bread."
Blame Mike.
I'm
We're
gonna
blame
blame
Mike.
Absolutely.
Blame our
So
buddy
now-
Mike.
So we made it all the way to the revolutionary lightweight ham radio antenna, also known as the Faraday fabric antenna. Where in the hell did this come from? This idea?
Well, it was obviously born from the duct tape antenna.
Right.
Like, duh.
Ooh.
So,
Hey, Carlos, you need
what-
to fly one of these.
the thing is
He's got
that
one.
there's I made the duct tape antenna and it's all copper foil in it. And I figured about how long is it going to last in my pocket? It's going to, you fold it and unfold it. The copper is going to hurt, like work harden and break, right? And it'll last about a month in your pocket, but I wanted something that you could carry around, and it was super useful. Like, it is duct tape and you can do it cheap enough, but you don't want to be rebuilding it. And while I was, kind of just thinking about how to work on this, I saw Faraday fabric come in for ground plane antennas from Mike. We talked about it before. I can't remember the
VBR.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was using Faraday.
KB9 VBR.
Yeah, like you said. And so he ended up using Faraday fabric, and I thought, oh my God, I wonder if the Faraday fabric, if I can sew it up. No, I can also sew fairly well. I did like search and rescue, and I know
I saw that. We saw you. I was watching your video. You operating that sewing machine. Let me tell you something. In another life, you're making suits and you're doing hems. I'm telling you, you're very good. You're very, very good as a sewer. I really saw that. That was one of the many things that impressed me about you. Not only can you take an idea, but you follow it right through the end of, okay, this is going to be version 1. And I think probably halfway through this, I can picture your mind saying, you already got versions 2 and 3 already, but let's just finish 1 first.
Well, yeah,
Just
no,
wait, there's
absolutely.
more.
And the problem I generally have is, even like with special effects, and even when I was doing engineering, like I've actually got 4 world records under my belt with human powered vehicles that I've designed. And the problem I had
All right,
was
Colin
that I
Furzy.
designed up. What's that?
I said, all right, Colin Furzy.
Yeah. And thank you, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Another massive
Seamster.
inventor. Sorry about that.
And Ryan, thank you. Seamster. That's the word I was thinking of. Thank you, Ryan.
The problem I have is I design things that I'll go to a manufacturer and go, I need this made. And they go, well, that can't be done. And it's like, no, okay, here, hold my beer. So that includes me learning how to sew and weld and do everything. Right. Mm-hmm. And that helps you understand how things are made, which then, moves forward. Anyways, back to the antenna. I wanted something that would work. And while I was looking for the Faraday fabric, I found out that there's Faraday tape. And suddenly I'm like, oh my God, there it is. So I ordered the stuff. Literally the next day I had some ribbon. I was sewing it down onto some tarp material that I had. And then I thought, well, this is going to be too wide. And I was using really wide tape. And I didn't realize that because of the properties of the Faraday cloth, it's capacitively coupled fibers. And there is some back end, there's some really cool back end physics that are going on where the impedance and the capacitance don't work the same as the usual stuff. Now, because of that, you don't need a super wide width to get a flat, to get a really low, sorry, let me try this again. To get an SWR curve that's really flat across the band, you don't need that anymore. So once I narrowed it down, I realized that I could just use some 1.5-inch ribbon and sewed on this 10 millimeter, or was it 0.3 inch Faraday cloth. And after I figured out some of the math with the capacitive coupling and the inductance, then the regular Faraday calculators don't work with what I'm building.
Right.
You have to make it a little longer and the feed point changes. But once you do it, it makes a spectacular antenna. There's a friend of mine yesterday, we were talking and he reached out so this is not with this antenna, but with the flag antenna. He did 100-kilometer shot to a repeater and we were talking back and forth.
Wow.
So that's 60 miles.
Wow. That's crazy.
And that has a little bit to do with because the Faraday cloth has some special properties in it.
Now, how much power can you run into that? I know I've seen you with the HC.
This is where it gets really cool. No, this is. I was thinking I'm going to melt this stuff, right? We jammed 50 watts digital through it for 5 minutes. It didn't even change temperature. The BNC got hot, not the fabric. Wow. So what's happening is because it's fabric and air can flow through it, it cools itself off. It just it doesn't mean anything. No, I haven't done any 100-watt tests, but I'd be willing to bet that it can handle 100 easy. I don't know anything past that, but I will be doing some testing here in the future. And once I get my advanced license, then got to start, throwing some power through it and let's see if we can make it melt.
Because I was thinking when I was watching your video, I'm thinking if you wanted to play around on 2-meter sideband, instead of hanging it vertically, just hang it horizontally or as a slope, whatever. And play around with 2-meter sideband. Now that you said 50 watts, 100 watts, 100 watts on 2-meter sideband, depending on your environmental conditions, is amazing.
Well, hopefully, Carlos, Life at Terminal Velocity, he does those where he jumps out of airplanes.
He got his about 2 days ago.
Nice.
He got his 2 days ago.
Nice. Yeah. So I look forward to seeing that in action. That would be cool to have this.
Here's another funny thing. It's that yesterday when my friend was testing this, he's like, what? I'm thinking, what did we measure it out to? It was about 35 kilometers to this one repeater. And he's talking to it with an HT at 5 watts. And he had it 5 feet off the ground. And it fell down. And I didn't realize this. And he got a little staticky. And I'm like, oh, the wind must be picking up or something's going on. But your signal's bad. And he's laughing. And he couldn't tell me what's going on. And I'm like, what? And he's like, it's crumpled up at my feet. It's still reaching the repeater.
So have you tried to do a gain calculation on it to see what kind of performance you're getting out of it?
Or that it's just awesome. I want to, but I'll tell you something. Not working for a year can be really hard on the pocketbook. So now I've got something that I know is marketable. So I'm I'm jumping up and down like a 12-year-old kid going, look at me, trying to get everybody to buy it. And it worked today. I had 50 to go and they went in a couple hours. So,
yeah, I just pulled this up and I was going to show this tonight. I was like, oh, by the way, it's on. Never mind. Because it sold out. I got the email and probably within 15 or 20 minutes of me getting the email, They were gone.
Take
I
that,
posted
Ham Radio
Elves are working
2.0
really
and
hard, and I've got more
MRD.
coming though.
We sold his
Right.
antenna out before the show even started.
Thank you, Joe Brett. Yeah.
But I will say, sign up for his email, and you can get there. I'm sure Steve's already got the link in there somewhere, but just sign up for the email. I'm sure these are all handmade. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're all handmade. So just give him a few minutes or a few days, and he'll have some more stock up. But I would love to see more of these out in the wild because I just think they're fantastic.
Well,
and there's so
also
many
made, like, a little
applications
printed
coming.
circuit board. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
there you
made a
go.
little printed circuit board for them, right? And it's actually I'm building some other stuff. Yeah, well, so I'm making antennas for the most part, I think are kind of ugly. And I worked for an aircraft company years ago, and there's this old crotchety Italian aircraft designer, and he's like, it will take no longer to make something beautiful than it will be to make something ugly. So don't you ever make my aircraft ugly. And I've sort of embodied that.
I agree
right?
with that.
So I've got a cube slot, but it looks like a tesseract.
This is
Whoa.
this is what was intriguing me when I saw this earlier.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So that and this once I break it down fits in an 8x or a 9x12 envelope. So
Wow.
It's origami.
That's the
origami.
Is that dual band as well?
that's dual band. It's a slot antenna, and it performs slightly less than the J pole, strangely enough. But like, given that it's like this, you can unwrap it. This is one thing's kind of neat is, well,
I wonder if I can work satellites with that.
Ryan's got exactly what I was going to say in the chat.
What's that?
If you're not
Highlight it.
careful, that could be a box kite
Suddenly
antenna.
you have
That's
a
what I thought
directional. Now you have a directional slot.
Right.
Oh wow!
Right.
So at that point, then your gain is all forward and back, and you'd probably get a little more distance out of it.
Box kite antenna.
Yeah, already working on that one, but I think I because of my aeronautical engineering and stuff, I'm working on a parafoil, and I want to sew the antenna into it. And so I want to do a 2 meter on the canopy of the antenna and send an HT up and just have it crossband repeat. So I'll talk to it via 70 centimeter and then see how far I can get out off of, like, you know, a parafoil up in the air.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow.
So now we need the satellite version. So 2 meters, 70 centimeters in a Yagi or whatever you can get with best forward gain.
Right. And it's got to throw in your pocket, right?
Exactly. And Rob and I will test it for you.
Yeah.
Rob will tell me how to test it because he has a setup. I just want to be there.
So I'm really good at doing like one thing I see a lot of the guys doing for satellites though is like I'm good at doing motion tracking and stuff in robotics, and so I could make like a little motion tracker, so a couple servos, and just have it so it follows the, like, once you set it up and it knows where it is in 3D space, it'll just track the satellite.
So there used to be a company out there that made an azimuth elevation tracker like that, and it was a project, and I don't have it on my desk, but it was ran off of a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
And basically, you tell it where it's at, and then you feed it the TL information from the satellites, and it will log onto it, and it just follows it. That would be fantastic.
Well, and the thing is if you look at some of the, like, the Stargazer apps and stuff on your phone, that will have all the satellite info. But what's really cool about it is that I should be able to interface that to whatever Raspberry Pi or whatnot. So on your phone, you just say, follow this satellite, and when it comes, it'll start tracking it.
So the one that Rob and I use a lot is called ISS Detector, and it actually will export to a controller and control that. It can send that TL information to a controller. So the app's already there, and it's already out. It's already sending that information out. You just have to capture it into a Pi or whatever to control the motors.
But the ISS is always beaming back something at every point in time.
No, this is
correct?
just the app. The app is called ISS
Well, no, I
Detector.
realize that, but what I'm thinking is use the app to just get it in the general ballpark, but then have the software itself hone in on the signal. There's no reason why I wouldn't be able to have it track the gain and just start following it via its own signal. You just need to give it where to start.
Shane, you just challenged
I
him.
didn't give it that
Shane,
way, but yeah,
Shane,
no, you're absolutely right.
Shane, he just said, hold my beer for a minute. I got to think about this. And 3 seconds
Because
later.
the only thing you have to think about, Don N5SKT, is called the SARC track. But yeah, the only thing you have to think of is some of these satellites are tumbling. So they'll go from vertical to a horizontal polarization. So if you can capture that, so yeah.
And Ben said, so what?
Well, we'll just make the antenna tumble at the same time, right?
Yeah, I mean, the helix would take care of that. But yeah, so ISS detector has rotor control built into it. So you just have to, whatever signal is coming out of ISS detector, feed that into a Pi or whatever you're using to control your motors, and you're good to go.
And I respect that, and I think it's amazing other people have done it. But like, why bother buying something when you can spend triple the amount of money and curse at your workbench for like 3 weeks to make your own? Right?
If you could, I mean, having it follow the gain or the whatever the signal itself, and not following the TLE from the satellite. I mean,
yeah.
So just a little over an hour into the show, I want to go ahead and I've already made my mind up about Ben. So this is my personal opinion, not a reflection on anybody else. Ben would be.
I guess you maybe just want to vomit.
Ben would be kick-ass to hang out with if you could keep his mind on track.
So you mean he fits in with the clubhouse? Got it.
You know, there's no telling. You go out for a POTA and then like you're stepping out of a spaceship or something. I don't know what may happen, but be pretty cool.
2-meter contest.
In the military, there was so I ended up on doing these tow missile systems for a little bit and shooting them out. They weren't popping the Russian tanks the way we thought they would. And then I came up with a little idea of putting a pre-explosive on the end of the. I'm not sure if you can talk about pew pew on here. Do you want me to go down that route?
You're good. Shane deals with that stuff afterwards.
I deal with the fallout. I just demonetize the stream if I have to.
So it turns out that if you put a little metal detector on the end of the missile, and while it's coming down range, if it detects metal, it sets off a little small pre-explosive, a little tiny, like it's barely a charge, but that little barely a charge is enough to create like, -2 psi, a little plume around the tank. Then when the missile goes in, suddenly it pushes pressure inside the tank, but you have the negative pressure on the outside. Man, you want to see things just, it cracks them like eggs. And it's just this little tiny, C4 charge on the end. So when I was in the military, it was one of those where it's just like, what can we do to make this better? And, some officers like, fuck ED, what are you doing? I'm just taking a charge in the missile. And it's like, why?
Why?
Like,
wait, just watch.
Watch what happens. Hold my beer.
Why not? Why not?
Ed's got it right. HRC stands for Ham Radio ADHD. Absolutely.
Sometimes it does.
And then Carlos says, Ben is a tow gunner too, my brother. There you go.
Oh, nice.
See?
It's good. Reach out and touch someone.
See?
Literally.
Spanked.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we've seen the kite antenna. What's next? I mean, apparently what you've created is going to catch on like wildfire. So you're going to be chained either to hand making these for quite some time or outsourcing it to some local folks to help sew that stuff together. But so kind of what's next? What are you thinking? I know Mike's going to put out a video and he's going to sell you out for probably the next 11 months.
At least.
So,
yeah.
At least.
So I've already got people making like sewing these things up and stuff. I'm doing circuit boards. I'm going to see about getting some other people to do final assembly. So yeah, I've got the box antenna that I'm working on as well. Then the flaggy, which would be the Yagi version. Again, all of these are like, fold up and throw in your pocket. There's a couple things where one thing I started thinking about is the squid poles that you have, like the DX Commander has those extension poles that go up like 7 meters, 12 meters, 14 meters. All of those are made out of carbon fiber, and some of them are fiberglass. And it occurred to me that if you take the Faraday cloth, it's nickel impregnated, and it's actually really, really tough cloth. It's hard to cut. So what I did as a practice in my shop is I threw some epoxy resin on it and see if I get it to harden up around the shaft. So now I'm going to take those squid poles and make them conductive. So instead of having to do the DX Commander and run a wire, the pole itself is going to be the antenna.
The antenna.
So you could literally have like a 16-meter whip that you can extend up and down,
which is resonant on 20 meters.
Or 40 or 5 or what, like what do you want?
All depends how high you extend it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See,
And
he goes down the cool ham radio dark hole, black hole web thingies. What
Yeah.
can you decide next? That's awesome.
I don't know. It all depends on it's one of those things where I'll look at something, and if I don't like what I'm playing with, I figure out how to improve it. And maybe, like, honestly, let's be realistic. I'm riding on this Faraday cloth, and it's magical to me, and hopefully it pays off in the end. But who knows? Maybe I'm a one trick pony. I don't know yet. So
No,
I've seen your website. Definitely not.
No.
Well, you want a fun video if you like that. If you Wednesday Addams for Netflix, we didn't do anything directly for the show, but they hired us to make a robotic thing or a hand that could walk. And so we
That's
went
a great
and scared
show,
people.
by the way.
Yeah, well, we went and we made a robotic version of that, and we scared people in New York, LA, Bogota. We just walk along the street and film it, and have people like, "Oh my god!" But like New Yorkers, "Oh my god!" They've seen everything. They'd like look down and they're like, "Oh look, a walking hand." You go to LA and they see
I
a
saw that
fingertip.
in Central Park last week. There's no shock there.
Another hand.
And just another hand walking down the street. I've seen Ghostbusters. All right. So the Faraday antenna GMRS, because we talked about it a little bit pre-show, but I think the GMRS MERS groups, I think they might either drive you crazy because of the order, the size of the orders. But I think that would probably be an untapped market, because right now you have the Slim Jim, which I had thought about ordering a Slim Jim. But if you're telling me that this is that with this, you use this on 70 centimeters, which means I could probably use it on GMRS, because that's pretty close to 70 centimeters.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
Well, here's the thing too, though, is that if we decide to make the GMRS version, this one's like almost 2 meters long. The GMRS one would be like, like what, 70 centimeters? So like 3/4 of a meter long, like 70. Somebody quickly do the math. It'd be just slightly over a meter long. So it'd be half the size.
Yeah.
It's already you want to make it half the size, because like that thing, it weighs 1.4 ounces. Like, you know what that's like in your pocket? 1.4 ounces in your pocket, like that's
like a $5 bill,
almost like a credit card.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. $5 bill.
So these are full. So the Faraday antenna is full wave on 2 meters. I didn't know that. I thought it was like a half or a quarter.
I thought it was halfway.
This is where Faraday cloth is different. Remember, I was telling you how the capacitive coupling and the inductance. So what ends up happening is you have all this capacitive coupling happening. And so to get a good resonant point, you need more inductance. And to get more inductance, you have to increase its length. So then the length isn't a full wave. It's like, I would say like 7/8 waves, somewhere in that
close
range.
Enough, right?
It's and that's how you build up the inductance to get the SWR down to where you need it. And that's just one of these weird things about like how that fabric works. Because if you look at a J-pole calculator, if you do the length that I currently have in it, it would say that you would need a 1.2 to 1 velocity factor, which, I'm pretty sure I haven't developed a time machine or an over-pair or anything. So,
right.
Yeah. So I had to dive down
it doesn't go 88 miles an hour is what you're trying to say.
Right. I was thinking, like one of the first antennas I built in the 90s was a J-pole with 450 ohm ladder line. And I remember following that. You follow that document exactly, and you have yourself. And then all of a sudden, guys came out with the dual band version. Now you've come up with a whole nother, hey, wait a minute. We're going to change. We're going to use Faraday cloth, which now changes the whole dimensions. We have to be open-minded now to that. So that document has to get reserved for this material, but we're going to use that material instead. So very interesting.
Yeah. And I'm kind of working at, this is one of those things where I'm normally like, I've worked as a freelance engineer for like 15 years before I got into the movies. And I worked on a lot of patents and stuff. And your patents are only as good as your lawyer, the lawyer you can afford, right? So I started looking at normally I would say don't do it, and I'm kind of crowdsourcing it. So the idea is that if I get out there and I'm the first person out there making these, then anybody trying to copy me, hopefully at least I can make some money before they get onto it. But this is the first time in my life I'm thinking maybe I should be going for the patent, because it has, like, well, defense contractors have gotten a hold of me going, hey, do you think we'd be able to, like, tape an antenna onto a tent? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. In fact, we've already done this. So it becomes a really interesting conundrum I got to work on, but I need to make money first to afford the lawyer. So I don't know where to go, really.
The patent would definitely be a fantastic idea to protect what you've got going on, because there might be someone with endless pocketbooks that would say, oh, well, I'll just copy that. And then I'll put
right. As well as just not be an ethical guy. Yeah. That's the problem too.
Well, beyond that too, is that even if I do have a patent, if the guy, that's made a ton of money decides that he wants it, he just has to hire the right lawyer. I will have zero power against that happening. So
but we've had you on the Clubhouse, so we have we have
proof
that you were first.
This is patent. This shows
that you were first.
This shows patent. And guess what? And if you want to parlay this, I will go on Shark Tank with you, and I will tell Mr. Wonderful this is the deal. But do we really want
great this
Mr. Wonderful is a Canadian too, right?
Exactly.
So's Robert.
If not, we'll get Lori and we'll put you on QVC. Because there really should be a ham radio segment on QVC. I agree.
I agree 110%.
We're going to make that happen.
If you do the research, the market isn't really that, like, you've got about a million English ham radio speaking guys on the planet. So the market's reasonably small. The good advantage is that you got a bunch of crazies and old guys with a little bit of extra money. So there is that.
Listen,
and also
I'm sure DX Engineering would love this idea to have this in their wheel well.
Or Gigaparts, or
Gigaparts.
There's a lot of guys who. So listen, you have opportunities if you want. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely,
and that's always nice. Yeah, that's really nice to have that. So
yeah.
So we have another super chat. Don N5SKT with a $10 says, "Think big, an 80-meter cage dipole made entirely of Faraday cloth."
I when that was originally got posted, I'm like, oh my god, SKT's thinking big. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something, especially for the guy who can't.
Ben's taking notes too.
Listen, especially for the guy who cannot put up a traditional 80-meter.
I saw that grease pencil over there.
Yeah, there you go. Look, I saw the eyes blink. You kidding me? I saw the eyes blink.
No. This is good though. So you've got fan dipoles. This is one thing. So the interesting thing is with a fan dipole, each wire handles a certain band or a certain frequency, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Here's the thing: is that if you take Faraday cloth, if we do this, and if we cut it at an angle, right, and you fed it at the center, so it would look like these sort of phoenix wings, like really tapered long wings, like a high aspect ratio glider. The thing is that the path of least resistance for the frequency would go along that. So instead of having an individual wire, we should be able to breach all the frequencies along the way by making a fan dipole. It would look like a wing, but it should be able to manage a lot of different frequencies that none other could.
And when the neighbor, but wait a minute, hold on. And when the neighbor says, "What's that?" you just tell them it's a kite or something decorative lawn art, and they're not going to say nothing.
It's my wings.
It's my wings.
Has anybody watched the hot garbage movie that I loved as a kid called Condor Man?
Oh my! That's Carlos.
Look it up. So watch the movie. It is so bad. But like, I just this guy that would jump off a bridge with these wings. It was awesome. So, anyways, yeah.
Yeah. So Ryan K5 TAR says perfectly. It's art.
It's art.
Make a sculpture out of it. I have this winged creature in my front yard. And its wings just happen to be made out of Faraday cloth.
Right.
Well, the flaggy antenna, remember we got that one there is like a 3-foot square. You could put that on a flag. Just add some some fiberglass reinforcing poles along the edge, and you've got a Yagi hanging off your balcony and nobody's going to tell you to take your
American flag down.
Hey Ben, do us a favor. Ben, do us a favor if you don't mind. Pick up that material again for guys like me and many others who I'm sure are watching the chat and listening.
I'm gonna embiggen you here.
So,
Wait.
how
That
would you
looks like a
describe
space blanket.
Is it very? Yeah. Is there a lot of? It seems like there's a lot of dexterity. Is it very soft?
Oh, yeah.
How would you?
It's think of it as a stiff it's like stiff silk. It feels so good on your hands. It's actually really maybe I should make a body antenna. You know how you woke up green screen guys,
Joe
the spandex. I'll just make my whole body the
Not only is this a comfortable pillowcase, but you can also transmit with it.
You could transmit on only hams.
Getting tired running
that
that
usually that transmission happens down the air.
No,
Not
it comes out
only
of the
does
top.
this-
I've already seen the hat you created for it. Come on now.
You got to wait until the antenna comes up, right?
Right?
Oh my god! I just
Oh,
you
goodness.
cut that out, right?
No, we're live.
And we're not cutting that out of the podcast either.
No, not at all. Someone said just need a little bit of low loss coax and BNC connectors. And Mike says, I just happen to know someone who with low loss coax. There you go. You've already got him talking.
You got him.
Well, the low loss stuff, I didn't really like. I've been using, because I am the ham radio rookie, I don't know which coaxes and stuff to do. And to get the fine stuff. So I saw Josh Nash at Hamvention at Hamcation. He had some, golden thin stuff. And I was like, what is that? And he's like, well, it's RG316. So of course I'm buying some of that. That stuff's like freaking magic. And it works really well with
You need to talk to Mike, because Mike has been to Italy with Messi and Poloni.
That's what
And I'm sure Mike has probably got everything in his garage to think of. So reach out to Mike. I bet he would have a great, as well as he lives like 5 blocks away from ABR Industries, which is another fantastic coax producer here in the United States. So
yeah, but also remember I'm broke and I'm in a hobby that what was it? It was 2 days ago. I was on another live thing, and who was talking? This one guy kept talking, and I'm thinking like every time it was like, oh, gotta write that down. I need to buy that, gotta buy that. I'm like, will you just shut up?
Right? I need to buy this. I need to buy that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, whenever you restock your Faraday antennas, let us know, and we will let everybody else know, or they can sign up for the email list so that they would get notified. But we will make sure that you stay out of stock of Faraday antennas, because you have some of the most fantastic ideas I've heard of in quite some time in ham radio.
Thank you.
And it helps like quite a variety of people.
And more coming,
folks,
I think. More
the
coming.
GMRS
more coming.
folks. There's so much stuff in there. So let us know every time that you are ready to replenish stock, and we're going to let our folks in Discord. And if you want to join our Discord, the links are down below. As I will promote that, and we're going to post it and say, hey, we have word that Ben is going to be throwing out some Faraday antennas, and if you would like some, be here at this time, and we will make sure we sell you out. And I'm sure Mike over at Ham Radio Tube would be more than happy to sell you out as well. So we will do our best to make sure that you do not have stock of your antennas.
Yes.
So what you're saying is everybody here's a sellout.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you'll have no time to get yourself in trouble.
Way.
Right. You're gonna be at that sewing machine, so don't worry about it.
And I have an idea, because I fly hot air balloons. And
oh, dude, yes.
And we've done hot air balloon mobile before, but my 2-meter antenna was a little bit bulky. So if I can hook a carabiner to one of my balloon uprights and have a 2-meter antenna there that is plugged into my HT, I mean, that and it doesn't weigh anything. So
Shane, that's awesome. That would be.
I'm just trying to think. The balloons fall under FAR regulations, correct?
They do.
Or are they under a different? Okay,
so most of them are under experimental.
Okay, that's fine. So remember that my background's aeronautical engineering, and I used to do aircraft approvals and type certificates. We could probably figure out how to sew one right into the canopy,
or you could sew it into my basket.
Do all the paperwork.
Or you could sew it into my basket, where I just have to plug my BNC into my basket. I'm restoring a basket right now where I'm replacing the surrounding.
Okay.
What is that? Anybody else hear that?
It started
Okay.
when you went circular.
I know, right? That way. I'm replacing some of the rope that goes around this decorative and creating some more decorative stuff. So if I could wind or wove in some of that material, that'd be a good idea. Or saying. And I can plug.
I like the idea of the canopy though, because throwing like a giant HF antenna, but taking it up to like balloons don't generally go up that high. What is it? 2,000 above usually.
2 or 3,000.
Yeah.
We lost your audio, by the way.
Your special effects.
It's turned into Mr. Roboto.
Okay.
Wrong movie.
Right? Oh no! When you tap it, it gets worse.
Okay.
Unplug it, plug it back in.
What's that?
Unplug it, plug it back in. That usually fixes it.
2 seconds.
See, you should have done the Windows update at the top of the show.
See, right?
See, that's the competition. Competition's already trying to stifle him, so they can get it
exactly.
See,
Now is that working?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're back.
Okay.
Perfect.
And I'm on a Mac, so no
there is no
Dang.
Windows update.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey Ben, I gotta ask, the tattoo, is that a tape measure on the side?
Yeah, it is.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but
No,
yes.
I had to
It was in his
because
video.
I was rewinding YouTube. I'm going back and forth. I'm like, he put a tape measure on his
Dude.
forearm.
Explain that.
constantly
What's the
designing
story
and
on
building
that?
stuff? And I'm constantly losing my ruler. Like you have people lose pens, I'm losing a ruler. It's not dead accurate, but it's always there for
It's
me.
close
Right?
enough. It's close enough. Hey,
Like
It
when I got it, it was like a week old, and I went to Home Depot and I was looking at some vents to vent a laser cutter out of my house, and I couldn't figure out if it was a 4.5 inch or a 5-inch duct that I was holding. And at Home Depot, you can never trust the actual bin it's in.
Of
So I
course.
grabbed it and I put up against my arm, and the guy beside me, he's like, "That's fucking brilliant."
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh my god, I love it.
And if you're trying to hold something and measure it at the same time,
Right,
Yeah.
we don't have 3 arms.
Yeah.
I invite all hams need to get a 6-inch ruler or 12-inch ruler tattooed on your forearm.
But you don't
whatever space
get a
allows.
Smith chart put on your
Whatever.
back or something like that. People can come with the markers and
chart.
figure it out.
Let me take off my shirt. I got a Smith chart bat here.
Well,
That
you
is
can do the Manson,
fantastic.
do a little micro Swift chart right there.
It's only good on Ash Wednesday.
Oh,
But and I slide away.
Yep. As you get canceled.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. All right, so we've hopefully your email list has grown exponentially since we have 135 people watching us right now.
I hope so. It's
And the first 50 we're at $65. The from now on there'll be 75 plus shipping.
Yep.
Which for a handmade product that works as well as this does, I think that's a very fine price.
Mm-hmm.
The Slim Jim antenna that I was looking at is not what I want, so I will probably be looking into one of these to solve my problems. So
And
I've got a
looking forward
question.
to it.
I'm
go
also
ahead,
the
Jibber.
kind of guy that I totally understand the people that can't afford it. Like you can pay for things in 2 ways, either with your sweat equity or with money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can't afford my antenna, if you go to the YouTube channel, you can go and get the plans for like $5 or $7 and build your own. I just ask you that you just don't sell them, but go and make it. Like totally.
I didn't
go and
know
make it.
that. Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And hopefully they give you credit for it.
Well, I hope they innovate and do their own thing with it. It's
Pay for the plan,
Yeah.
make it, and then make videos of it, showing people where to see more of it.
Yeah. And I'm going to I've done this before with other things, and what ends up generally happening is that you'll have the one guy that's like, "Oh, I can make it cheaper." They'll find out that they can't. They will build it, and they'll build it really poorly, and then end up buying from me again anyways, but buying the made one. So
Band plan tattoos.
Band plan
So
tat-
Jason says we're gonna have band
Jason's
plan
right.
tattoos at
That
Hamcation next
there is a
year.
lot to be throwing onto a tattoo.
Well, I mean, you can make a sleeve out of it. Like,
Oh,
you want 80 meters? Hold on.
yeah.
It's right
Listen.
there.
I'll bet you in Huntsville, there's going to be some guys with a tattoo or a Sharpie. Some guys are going to just do that. That's good. That's you want to be trademarking that
But
tattoo.
here's the problem. Most guys keep telling them that that's 6 inches.
Well,
So
there's, and then you're like, "Where's 2 meters?" And it's under the flag.
All right, I'm going back to
See?
the products here. I got my question.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Joe Brett.
So I got to looking on your site earlier today and got to looking at this beautiful antenna that we've mainly been talking about along with others. But you made a mistake, Ben. And
Okay.
when you sent MRD his Farah pole or whatever, I'm sorry, Farah pole, Farah antenna,
Farah J.
you included, and also on your website, your call sign is stitched into this thing, but I have no option to give you my call sign to have it stitched in and custom request.
Man, Joe Breck gonna call you. Joe Breck gonna call you out. Ham court.
No. So
10 extra
the
bucks
first,
or something, man. You know.
No. The first 50. If I haven't, I'm working out
Farah
the
J.
whole website and everything like that. It should have asked you for your call sign. If
Well,
it didn't,
maybe it did if I hit purchase. I didn't know that.
yeah, they were sold out before I
at any rate, I'll be completely honest, and this sounds like a flaky thing, but that eats up a lot of time because I have to go into a vinyl cutter and then I have to iron
That's
it
why
on.
I'm paying you
stuff.
10 extra bucks.
So it'll be an add-on, and yeah, we can add it on, right?
So
If it
it's
pisses me off,
really
I'm
great.
gonna send something like really lewd, you know, like
You should. I would love it if you sent a D with a bunch of, an 8 with a bunch of equal signs and a capital D at the end of it. Put that on Joe Brett.
I'm thinking an 8 laying down with a number 1 coming up. Or letter I might work better. I don't know.
Just sew in an eggplant.
Like,
well, that's what I was thinking. Hey, Shane, that's what I was thinking of for our favorite ham that we, that favorite sad ham. That's what he would have on his. So.
I wouldn't send him a great quality product.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's true. That's true too. You're absolutely right.
I got so pissed off at one of our repeaters. Some jackhole, some lid. I don't know what acronym you want to give them, but called out Mayday.
Asshole works too.
And for me, being ex-military, I also did search and rescue. You hear a radio doing that. I pulled off the side of the road. I was getting my phone out, and I was going, unknown call sign, more information, and then somebody else come on and said, "Okay, this is a known jackass. Don't take it."
He was calling Mayday on a repeater.
They did it on a repeater, and I'm just even right now I'm still kind of calming down from that because I spent a lot of my life training for these scenarios, and having somebody do that just makes me. I want to find him and punch him in the face. And go,
I agree. Yeah,
and I've also been in a really bad rock climbing accident, and people rescued me, and I understand what goes into that. And if that guy wrecks that system, anyway, sorry.
Why would someone do that? That's the thing. No, you're exactly right. Why would someone do that?
Because people.
Yeah,
because people. There's a Minnesota ham that I sent a random bag of dicks, and if you would like to send a random bag of dicks to the Minnesota ham, I wholeheartedly support that. Yeah. Kilo 0 Lima Whiskey Charlie. If you want to go ahead and send that to a random bag of dicks, I wholeheartedly support that.
On a funnier, more light-sided thing is I showed up at this one movie I was working on, and the special effects supervisor came around and he was handing everybody coins out, and they look like silver dollar kind of things. So I'm like, what the hell is this? And on it was stamped "one fuck," and he goes, "This is I have one fuck to give, and that's the one you have." There we go.
They don't say that. But.
So if you screwed up, you had to return it to him.
So we should probably make that the case of our condom that we're going to do for Huntsville. So,
One
You're right.
One time use condom holder called One Fuck on the backside. Welcome to the Ham Radio Clubhouse.
Wait, can we wrap it in Faraday cloth and run microwave through it?
Can I
Cook
antenna my
sausage,
One Fuck
you know?
to give?
A 9-volt battery up to it. Wow.
Whoa.
I'm only resident on 70 centimeters. Well, I'm resident on 2 meters.
I'm resident on about an inch.
23 centimeters, maybe.
I'm
Millimeters.
160. I'm
Millimeters.
160. I'm a long antenna. I'm 160.
Daniel VA3SDO, that guy says they're not also until you out yourself on live stream. I told this individual multiple times before I sent him the random bag of dicks that I was going to send him a random bag of dicks.
Look,
So I have no quorum with sending someone a random bag of dicks and then telling them that I sent them a random bag of dicks.
and most
Not a
of
problem
look,
with
man, you spend enough time with Shane. You know how he
Thank
keeps
you.
stuff to himself. All the time, like, all right, let's not tell anybody about this. It'll be a surprise giveaway or something. And then, Shane Tuesday night, hey, y'all are going to want to tune in. We're giving away.
We're giving away something. I never tell you
Shane,
what
we
it
wasn't
is.
going to say that.
So as the new guy, though, one thing that I found is I've never in person met a bad or a sad ham. But, man, they sure exist in my comment section.
It's so true.
If they're not in your comment
So
section, you're doing
true.
something wrong.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at an hour and a half into this cluster that we call a ham radio show. This is not a ham radio show. I'd like to make a motion that we accept VE6SFX into the Ham Radio Clubhouse as an honorary member, being on our live stream show.
Wait a minute.
I need a second and a third.
Wait a minute. How many
Put the
people are
initiation
watching?
helmet on.
Wait a minute. Shane, you better tell everybody how many people we have watching.
We have 138 people watching.
Thank
So we have
you.
138 witnesses to this atrocity.
That's right, a witness.
Oh, boy.
So can I get a second?
Second.
And can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
There we
Hallelujah.
go. All right.
Well, thank you.
So Ben, welcome. We will send you a bill for the dues. They're exactly
monthly, it's
$0 per month.
Is there a handshake?
But welcome. There is.
Yeah.
No, there
we'll have to
isn't.
do that in person. So
No, well, there is something else you have to do, though.
Okay.
yes.
It's called the Fast Izzo quiz. Are you
Oh,
ready?
that's right.
Are
Hold
you
on. That
ready?
is correct.
You may want
You
to.
have
You may
to
want to put that
surpass
hat on.
this.
You may
Get
want to put that hat
get your
on.
grease
Can I
pen
get my
handy.
ARL book out? Just in case?
Get your grease pen handy.
You
Because you're going to have to do
wanna-
all the math by hand.
And you may want to put that helmet back on too. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Chicken, fish, or steak?
Say that again.
Do you prefer chicken, steak, or fish?
Oh, steak.
And how
Oh,
do you
there
like
we go.
And how do you like your steak?
Medium rare.
Good so
Okay.
far.
Jackson approved.
Favorite ice cream?
Licorice.
There's a
What?
licorice ice cream.
Licorice
Oh, yeah.
ice cream? I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
Have you
in
ever,
basketball.
have you
You
ever
ever
seen
got
that
Tiger?
cat that smelled
Have
yogurt?
you
and
ever
went,
had
"Ah!"
tiger ice cream? The black stuff is licorice, and you can get that separated out and just have it straight up.
Really? Wow. I don't think anyone on this show in 140 shows ever said that.
No, 153.
153. Oh my God, that's great. It's incredible.
Right.
All right.
So licorice ice cream is the favorite.
I agree.
Eh.
I don't see that at the DQ Blizzard section, do we?
Double cream shake.
You know what?
Yeah,
It
Chris
gets
Blizzard.
so good after a couple spoonfuls of haggis.
Do you, as a Canadian, do you like DQ Blizzards?
Oh hell yeah!
Wait a minute. What
Done.
what
Yeah.
about the favorite flavor?
What's your favorite
Oh, that'd be
flavor?
Oreo. Or
Okay.
if they have
I
cheesecake,
get it.
cheesecake doesn't happen all that often up here, but the cheesecake's pretty good. But I like Oreo.
I like the Oreo. I'm with you there, buddy.
Snacks. What kind of snacks you like? Are you a snack guy? You know, munchies,
Haggis chips.
haggis. No.
Dude, if you saw this profile, you'd see I'm lean and I eat like 5 bags of Doritos a day.
Barbecue potato chips.
Haggis cheese
hell
puffs.
No, that's disgusting.
What-
You don't
what-
like He doesn't like barbecue potato
No,
chips.
dill
Wow.
pickle.
All right, thanks for joining us tonight.
Really?
We'll see you
Really?
guys. See you.
Oh, my
73
God.
to you. Take care.
Well, wait. How about I play the Canadian card? Ketchup.
Ketchup.
I had those live on stream One of my Canadian friends sent me some Canadian ketchup potato chips.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
Not
we all
too
have
bad.
issues.
If
No.
it's, I think when I tried them, if I just did one, it was okay. But when you take a whole grab full, it was
No, they like eat your mouth up. So they're like the vinegar. Like by the time you're done, you have to put on chapstick because your lips are gone.
Yeah,
Well, it's sort of like, what is it? Pineapples. When you eat them, the acid in a pineapple is actually digesting you. So your food is digesting you while you're digesting it. It's really
yeah. The haggis does that.
I
too.
love fresh pineapple though.
Yeah.
All right, and your final question, sir, and I want you to think very carefully about
And
this
don't
question.
tell me Sarah worked for a living.
Carefully.
This is going to be very specific on this.
Okay.
Like the ocean.
Don't make me
Baby.
say the word. Specific, whatever.
Specific.
Okay. What's your favorite band?
Favorite band?
Your favorite band?
He's
Man,
working
Great
working
Big
on
Sea.
his.
It would have to be Great Big Sea.
What is Great Big Sea?
It's a
What's a
Celtic
band?
band. It's a Celtic rock band.
I'm gonna have to go to Spotify right now.
Go. Come on, Shane, hurry up.
I can't play it live because I
How
would get
does that one?
decided.
You got to pipe the audio and then deal with the.
I mean, I
Yeah,
can,
hopefully.
but we'll get demonetized for it.
What
Well,
would be
if
your
you
second
do Big
choice?
Sea, look up Irish Descendants as well. You probably like those too. And,
Rush?
and I'm not kidding you, another band that's called Bad Haggis. But anyway,
So Great Big Sea is an SEA, right?
yes.
Wow, we opened up a can of worms here tonight. Holy
Oh, yeah.
Christ.
Expanding
learned a
your
lot.
horizons.
Yes, you have.
Okay, I can go with that.
Interesting.
I
What
can't
about the
play
hand
that
bands?
for you guys? But I would.
Ben, how about the hand band? If you had to play on the hand bands, what would you? Let's
Here's
say
the-
I don't want to see a sewing machine. I don't want to see I
Yeah.
just want to play some radio. What would you
2
do?
meters.
And what mode?
And here's the problem. Okay. I'm broke and I'm making money with my radios, right? I literally only own HTs. I'm like
Someone
2
send this man an
2 meter and
HF
analog,
radio.
and I'm working on getting an HF set and going for that. But like, I think I might be busy at the sewing machine for a while too.
Yeah,
you know?
you have
Yes,
a lot
you
of
will be.
antennas to make. You're gonna have a G90 in your future, and it will be after 10 antennas.
Well, I'm kind of actually, here's a good question for you guys then. As a
Sure.
new guy, I'm looking at the Yaesu 991A is kind of what I like the whole shack in a box and I can kind of take it camping with me. Is that a reasonable thought? Or is
I won't discount that because it does a lot of things well, but it doesn't do one thing good.
okay?
And that's with all Shack in the Box.
Yeah.
They will do a lot of things well, but they won't do one thing good. If that's what fits the bill for you, it's a great radio, absolutely. But like a 7300, it does great on 160 through or 80 through 160 through 6, but it has a front end problem.
Right.
The 7100 does fantastic, but there's limitations to it. But if you're looking for just a shack in the box, absolutely, it's going to do all things that you want to do, and it's going to do them in a manner that I think would satisfy what you're trying to accomplish.
Now I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna surprise all you guys because you guys know I've been ICOM. I bought an 891, which is a very small mobile, 100 watts, incredible receiver, beautiful audio, under $800. Just I added an LDG tuner to it, and bam, man, you throw that in a backpack or whatever. If you want to go new, James is saying the ICOM 706 Mark II G. That's an older radio.
You can't go raid with that.
But you're not going to go wrong with that. The
Yeah,
G90,
great radio.
the G90 that Shane mentioned, 20 watts. You're under great conditions. You're not going to go. I think whatever you decide to do, Ben, you're going to do well, and you're going to have fun. And then I have a feeling you're going to be the guy who's going to experiment. Like I said, you're going to come back from operating, whether it's a POTA, a soda on the park bench, and then you're going to be in the shack that night. That night, your gears are going to be turning. You're going to be. I can bet that, and then we're going to have you back on the show, and you're going to say, "Hey guys, look what I did." And we're going to be like, "Oh my god!"
I don't know about that. I appreciate that, but don't throw me on a pedestal or anything here.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure.
The one other thing too, and I'm the unpopular opinion sometimes, because the Shack in the Box is very intriguing type of radios because you got everything right there, no matter where you take it, put it, whatever. Yeah. One guy said this to me, and I didn't. When I was considering it, I didn't think about it. So if that's the only big powerful radio you have in your shack, and something breaks on the HF side or the 2 meter side, say like the finals or something, then you're out all of that radio if you don't have a backup when you send it off.
Point. Yeah.
But not to deter, just be prepared.
I've got a TID radio.
Right, buy more radios in case you have to send that one off.
That's a cool radio receiving airband. Don't transmit with it.
Right. That's why we're in this hobby. We're in this hobby. We just don't have one radio.
Yeah.
It's like you just don't have one antenna. You don't have one bioenno battery, whatever.
I also agree with the chat. A lot of folks in the chat are mentioning go with 100 watts for your first HF rig.
Yeah.
20 watts and less is when you're ready for a challenge. More, you want to challenge yourself more because
and the lower end of the solar cycle.
The challenge though, like it's.
Well, I know you do, but right. It's easier to get aggravated and move on to something else.
But even my 100 watt rig, I don't run it 100 watts.
Yeah.
I'm weird. I run it at 88 watts.
I don't know. I can picture Ben
when I'm portable because I'm like, it's time traveling.
I was about to go. Do you go through the flux capacitor on the way?
Damn right it does.
Ben is just going to lay out more Faraday
capacitor through my NFED half wave. So, my thing is, whatever you can afford is the best radio. Yeah. Everybody will tell you need to buy this, you need to buy that. You don't. You need to buy what you can afford and what will solve the interim problem or the long-term problem. But the interim problem is probably the best problem to solve first.
Right.
And if a 20 watt radio that does all modes and does all bands solves your interim problem, and so you can get a long-term solution, then that's the best radio for you.
No, and the one thing I think is kind of neat about ham radio is the resale value of a lot of these things is actually really good compared to a lot of different.
Keep the original box. That's worth $300 right there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So what Shane was saying is true, because my first HF radio when I got my general ticket was a 30-year-old Kenwood TS440. And that radio took me all the way into what I call casual contesting, and actually I kind of missed the way I operated with that because I actually hunted the stations. Right. Now with the 7300, I've got the band scope. I can see stations, and also I've got it interfaced with a computer where I just click on the spots and it goes straight to it. I don't hardly ever touch my VFO knob anymore.
Well, remember, like at the beginning when I was talking about when I was a teenager and I got my ham radio, what I got was, and I know that Wally, the ham radio guy in town that was showing me the ropes, told me it was a Drifty 50. No, I don't know what it was, but like you could lock onto a station and then you had to sit there and just creep along with it the whole time. It was just, it was annoying and kind of neat at the same time.
I bet there's someone in the 137 people that are watching right now. I bet there's someone who's got something sitting on a shelf right now that we're like, oh wait, that's an HF radio, or it does most of the things. Maybe we should reach out to him and we could probably make that work. So,
well, shipping to
if
Canada,
you're watching and there's something that's that you see what Ben wants to accomplish and you want to support that, do it.
I don't think Molson's using his anymore. He's too busy.
Right.
And he's in Canada.
And he's in Canada.
Molson could be a remote station for you too, or something.
There you go. You have to have an advanced license to be able to do remote in Canada. So I'm working on that, and I'm hoping I'll have it in a month.
Chop, buddy. Chop.
Yeah, what do you got to be, that class 2 or whatever they call it? That 200 watt stuff. Yeah.
It's we're allowed a few more watts up here. So
nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing. It's like everyone has their ideal radio, but there are other radios that will do what you want to do, if not more.
It's a nice
they're a few
entry
years
point.
older. They're not going to have a waterfall, but they're going to have they're going to have a great interface. The 706 Mark II-G doesn't have a waterfall, but it's a great radio. Like I want one of those radios.
It gets you on the air. It gets you on the air. Bottom line.
And Ben, you're in a great situation where I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. rude of me. But you're in a great situation where you can stockpile a bunch of antennas and then get some of these guys to make videos and sell out in a couple of days and buy whatever the hell you want to buy. So.
Right? He's gonna have a flex next week. You just watch.
Hey Ben, from a propagation, where are you? Where is VE6? What province are you in?
We're in Calgary, Alberta. So the one advantage I have is that we're 3,200 feet, so we're up fairly high. But we got the Rocky Mountains, so going out the East Coast, kind of have to bounce over them.
So you're north of Montana. Give us an American state.
Direct north of Montana. Just go straight up through Coots, Montana, and then I'm directly north about 4 hours from Coots.
Gotcha.
He's near Banff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Banff is absolutely gorgeous, which I would love to activate at some point.
And go to Banff is awesome, but do yourself a favor and drive north 2 hours to another park called Jasper.
Yep.
And it's a whole new level of awe. Like you go to Banff and you think it's amazing. You've only just touched.
You scratched the surface. Yes. So I can fly relatively cheap on Air Canada, and I thought about flying to Calgary, and then I thought about getting a vehicle there and just driving north and activating parks in Canada.
Well, you don't need a vehicle. You just need to pick up the phone and give me a call. And I've got a basement suite and a bed.
Look at this opportunity.
There you go.
It cost me $80 to fly to Canada.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. Please come on up.
Hold up.
Bring your buddy.
Mike, where you? Oh, I'm sorry. Steve, where you?
And you know what?
Steve gives me his radio, so I can't dispute
so,
that.
Ben, Calgary was the Olympics, back in the 90s, maybe?
88.
80s? 88.
Mm-hmm.
Did that have a major impact in that region, would you say? As far as tourism, I know there was a huge population explosion.
It definitely helped, but I wouldn't say it made any big giant leap or anything like that. When you have something like the mountains in Banff, and every summer we have the Calgary Stampede. So for all the cowboys, they come up here. It's the biggest show on earth. The biggest rodeo on earth.
Fantastic.
Right. And those two events alone are plenty enough to bring all the tourism that we would ever need.
Well, and Banff is even like it's a chore to get to north of Calgary.
Yeah.
So it's not something, but you still it's a chore to get up there.
Ice road trucking? We're not talking ice road.
No, it's just another hour north. But most people fly to Calgary and they're like, oh, let's just stay in Calgary and get drunk or whatever. But the further you go from Calgary,
right?
Yeah,
the better it gets. Banff is just like Banff is on my bucket list. If I can get that, and then I can go to north and get even more than that, sign me up.
And I'm not sure how ballooning licenses work, but one buddy of mine is actually just finishing off his. So I'm sure we could probably get you a canopy to sit there and inflate.
Look at him! Look at him! Oh my God!
Can we tether it, and we could do aeronautical mobile from whatever park we're in?
You know what? I'm pretty sure he'd be all in on that one. I'm not sure if he doesn't have his rig though. I'm not sure. Like, do you guys rent it? Or
I'll bring one. No, I'll bring one.
What, Air Canada is going to fly your rig up?
No, I could throw one in the back of the truck and drive up. Canada's not that far away. I used to be an over-the-road truck driver for a living, so I've driven coast to coast, north to south, east to west, you name it. And we've actually thought about taking a road trip and going from Texas up through North Dakota into Canada and activating parks just to do a parks on the air thing. Mm-hmm. So where's Ham Radio 2.0? I thought I saw him in the chat, but he's thought about coming up there with me. So totally. That'd be fantastic.
I'll give you guys my I'd have to change it from an antenna workshop to back into like a basement suite that you guys could live in for a day or two.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I just need I'll bring my air up mattress.
I'll just make all the bedding
provide the heat
out of my antennas. You just have to move the BNCs in the right spot.
Just key up to make sure the basement stays at least 70 degrees.
Hey Ben, I'm looking at the map for us map freaks like me. I see Calgary, then due north by a couple hundred miles, or you tell me more, is Edmonton.
Yep.
And is that like the last big city in that province?
Yeah, like Calgary's the biggest city in the province. Edmonton's a little smaller. Like we're 1.5 million, 1.4 million, something like that. Right. Edmonton, I don't even think is at a million. You can go further up, and there's like Lac La Biche, and
I see that.
They call them cities, but they're really just big towns.
I see Slave Lake, and then you keep on going, and oh boy,
yeah, you don't want to go up there at this time of year. It is 24-hour dark. You don't go up there.
Right, and then I keep on going, and you cross.
See, that's
over
why you have a local with you.
Right.
Yeah.
That whole Northwest Territories or something. Oh my God, it's got.
But he's going to be busy making antennas. So
yeah,
No,
That's
he's
okay.
gonna
I'll
outsource them.
I'll teach you how to use a sewing machine when you're down here.
Where's Shane? He's in the sewing machine room.
He's sewing. He's sewing so he can go back home next week.
It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose.
Oh my God.
Let's see. It puts the BNC on the connector. It gets the hose.
Exactly. Oh God, I'm looking at Poda Parks.
Oh, dude, there's so many around here. Like, there's also you go out to Drumheller, and it's where the most dinosaurs on the planet have ever been dug up, and there's massive museum and stuff like that out there. There's some great parks and stuff like that, and you can do it on show some 21st century stuff on some negative 2 millionth century bones.
Right. Let's see, Canada.
That's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the POTA stuff right now.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, and there's plenty of guys up here like Vince. There's a whole bunch of guys that would be able to help you. And if you're into hiking and stuff and rock climbing, we'd also work that out as well, get you up on some of the peaks.
There you go.
So we have to bring K6ARK for that because I'm too fat to hike up a mountain. So
if we go to the right one, we can even. I think
we
we got a
drive up to
couple
it.
that are. I think we got a couple that are 13,000.
Let me share this.
So you get right into the hypoxia area. So
See, he's already trying to kill me. He doesn't even know me that well. All right, so I'm looking at. Look at this. Just outside of Calgary. Look at all these parks.
Wow.
Just around Calgary.
I'm at a 13th for.
Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Prepare to copy part numbers, please.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys have
a
some
fifer and a
fantastic.
6 look at this.
You have some fantastic POTA opportunities there.
Oh yeah. No, there's tons and tons out there.
Ben, is that a program you think you would enjoy doing Parks on the Air POTA?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, Parks on the Air. Yeah, soda maybe not so much. Like I
don't blame you.
I'm fat and old. I don't want to do any more climbing.
Don't blame you.
Yeah. Maybe we just need the balloon to take us to the top. How accurate are you? Dude, okay, so we have Chinook winds coming over the mountains and stuff. There are days you definitely aren't flying because you'll inflate the balloon and you'll be in Toronto in a day.
Yeah, don't want to be part of that.
No.
Definitely. Anything over 10 knots, I get nervous.
Yeah. No, there are certain areas like southern Alberta, you don't see balloons flying down there very much. It's all wind farm area, so
I'm looking at the comments here. It says, yeah, no kidding.
Whatever it was, I didn't do it.
Sure.
No, someone else take over. I'm just reading comments to fill in. So if you got questions, fire away.
I'm looking at the map.
There's a lot. There is a lot up there.
Got everybody.
Like if you flew into Calgary, there is so many parks within 25 miles of Calgary to activate Canada. That'd be fantastic.
I wonder if we should get like a ham radio festival up here, have like Ham North or something like that. But have to do it in the summer.
You should do Ham Radio Clubhouse North, and we're gonna all meet at some park somewhere that's a 5-fur. Which it looks like most of these parks are 5-furs.
Imagine us passing the microphone.
We're gonna
on that
pass
one.
the mic.
Here's a couple things though. Is that
Here's the next operator.
It depends on how much time you spend on the gray line. In the summertime though, you gotta where I'm at. The sun rises at about 5 a.m. and it sets about 10:30 p.m. So
sounds like Texas.
You've got plenty of patio beer drinking time, but I'm not sure, like, I have to work on what actual, what bands and stuff would be good to play with.
So when the sun comes up, you start at 10 meters.
Yeah.
As the sun progressive, you go to 12 and 15 and 17, and then we go to 20. And then as the sun starts to set, we're at 20 and then 40. And then after dark, we go to 40 and then to 80 and then to 160. So
and
you just cover all of them.
And the gray line that happens here is kind of interesting as well. It lasts longer. So a lot of the filmmakers like it up here because, you have the golden hour where you have the 1 hour for the sunset. Right. Up here in the summer, the golden hour is more like a golden 2 hours.
Cool.
So you can, I'm not sure how that would play with, again, remember, I'm the rookie. I bet you any money there's some guy from Alberta going, oh my God, dude, you're just
this guy.
You're not, you have no clue.
We'll be in the comment section and we will filter that out. That'd be a lot of fun though.
And don't filter it out. If you've got constructive stuff to say to me.
Yeah, you get Oceania. That way, a lot of Japan, China, you get all those on there during the
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking at the chat while you guys chat.
I was thinking I was meeting with Jim Heath, so W6LG, where I was talking to him a little while ago, and you were talking about power at the very beginning, and how much power you're putting out. And Jim said he wanted to get over a pileup, so he juiced up his power, and he said he started hearing echoes from himself coming around the other side.
Oh, isn't that cool?
And I'm like,
oh wow,
dude!
If you've never heard that, that is eerie and freaking fantastic to hear.
Yeah,
to know that your signal has went completely around the world and you're hearing yourself.
I almost want to shoot directly. I want to find the long way around and figure out exactly what that is and see if I can make that happen.
Yeah,
right?
long path. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Mm-hmm. Because hearing that slight echo whenever you're transmitting is just.
Yeah,
I've seen it once. I've seen it a couple times on YouTube. I've never experienced it for myself, but to experience it would be fantastic.
Well, I'm gonna do it on 5 watts. In a in a bowl somewhere
with a Faraday antenna.
Yeah.
No. I do have a good grasp of reality, and I do also realize there was there's a lot of people were saying I'll sit there and say that my J-pole is equivalent to a copper pipe J-pole, and that was because I was told so John Portune, W6NBC, has written that in his comment or on basically a testimonial when he started using it. But one guy said, well, you haven't measured that yet. And to be completely frank, he's absolutely right. I haven't measured that yet. Everything being said right now is all subjective, and either you're going to love it or you hate it. And especially if you hate it, let me know. So I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. It's just a matter of talk to me about it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree. Just talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk. Shane must have had to go to the little boys' room.
Yeah.
Oh, we are 2 hours in.
Yeah. I don't see any of the comments and stuff, but I'm also, I didn't want to run 2 streams and do the YouTube thing. So
yeah. I always go and do just for future reference. You can pop the chat out and then
there it is. Oh my God. I've been ignoring this the whole time. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Hey, Todd, good to see you.
Yep, absolutely. I was going to say.
It's been a while.
Sure enough.
But
nice.
Yeah, I don't know where Shane took off to.
Yeah, go potty.
I had to go make water.
He's got to go.
So Ben, what I find interesting?
What's that?
Traditionally, myself and many others, we got involved as young kids or whatever through CB, shortwave. You came into this hobby at a different angle. I'm not going to say ass backwards because that's not even appropriate, but you just came in just totally. What made you just initially get your license? Well, where were you in working on the set of somewhere? For some TV or a movie or streaming service. What made you say, hey, I'm going to get my license?
I was injured after like a little medical incident, and I ended up sitting on the couch and bored. And Ben doesn't sit still very well, so I always start reading and figuring things out. And at my wife, one time we were sitting there and she looked over, we're reading in bed, and she's like, "What book are you reading?" And I'm like, "You don't really want to know." And she's like, No, I really want to know. And I was reading a thing on quantum physics, but it was on the math of it because I found it fascinating. And she's like, "You read that shit to bed." And I'm like,
"Go to sleep." Yeah.
That shit in 5. I think in 5 minutes that she'll be putting me to sleep. I think that would be, But that's awesome. Did she help? Did she help you with doing your test questions or?
Oh no. She generally looks at me and make sure the children are safe and keep them in a different room.
You're doing what?
So Don keeps tagging me in the chat like I talk on this show to ask questions. So I'm going to throw it on the screen.
Ham Jazz, yes, I saw that tape. I saw him use a tarp and some aluminum tape recently, and the aluminum tape that what's Ham Jazz's name again?
Simon.
Yeah, Simon. But he found some aluminum tape that's fiberglass reinforced. And of course, I immediately had, part of the reason why I can't afford a ham radio is I end up buying, 40 rolls of stupid amounts of tape.
The UPS driver's like, video.
Yeah. Please visit VHFcoms.com. Order your antenna to support Ben's habit.
Together we can get him a radio.
The shelves are empty, my friend.
Look at that look from the eyeballs over his right shoulder. That's like, support this man.
Who's going to start singing
there was somebody like I'm an excitable guy, and I think it comes across in the camera on some of my videos and stuff. But man, you watch Simon, and somebody was telling me they actually went out and hung out with him, and they said, "Dude, you can only tolerate the guy for like 4 hours."
Yeah, I've been around a couple of those. Folks.
Got to have some energy drinks,
right?
Yeah, right.
This was getting a legit old man Herbert here. Are you putting shh in your S's there?
No, I don't do that.
Okay. Say there, Sonny.
Sonny. Got your ice cream.
I got some popsicles in my basement.
What's your favorite ice cream? Come over here.
Oh, look, a conversation starter.
Oh my God.
Don't send. Hey, Shane. Don't send me one.
Faraday antennas as a conversation starter.
Here's the thing: is that you have accents to the way people talk all over the world, right? And King of the Hill was playing on cartoons, and I thought it was amazing. But I didn't realize that Boomhauer was an actual person. And I went down. I was working in Florida, and one of the AMEs working on this aircraft.
Yep.
He comes up to me. He's like, "Yeah, you know what, man? That rivet over there, I don't fit in there. I don't know what's going on. But I was sitting there, I just wasn't going anywhere." I'm like, "Oh my God, you exist!"
Yeah. Oh, that's
Damn it,
hilarious.
Bobby! I told you, stay out the tool shed.
So
because I'm a Canadian excitable down south. I've been told this many, many times. Son, you need to slow down.
Yeah, they tell me.
I don't understand everything you're saying.
I recently nicknamed a guy around here Boomenhire because every time he says something, I have to go say that again.
What?
and I was talking with somebody else that knew him. And was like, "Hey, how's he doing?" And all, and I'm like, "Oh, he's doing all right." I just call him Little Boomenhire, And he's like, he has a condition, right? And I'm like,
it's a name, right?
Are you guys familiar with Canadian Newfies?
No.
What's that?
So the East
Wilson
Coasters,
never told us.
good Lord of Thunder and Jesus, there, boy, they'd be thousands of miles away from home there. You know what you mean?
Newfoundlanders.
And they'd
From
sit there and
Newfoundland?
they're huge, and they'd sit there and they're the dick do. You know what you mean, man? Most of them are in the military, and I had to work with them. So
I work those guys on Polar. They're nice guys from Newfoundland.
oh, they're amazing guys. It's just like sometimes the accent gets too much, and you're just like, "What the hell?" Oh, good. Okay, beer drinking story. This was like the best, one of my favorite military stories. But we had a guy, a Scotsman, and a newfie in our unit, right? So we went to the pub, and the Scot, he looks over at the newfie, and he's like, "I lost me wallet." And then the newf goes, "What did he say?" I go, "He lost his wallet." And he's like, "It's in his pocket there, bye." And the Scot looks at me and he's like, "What do you say?" It's like, "It's in your pocket." I'm translating English to English. It was amazing. When they had a beer in them, they couldn't understand each other. It was amazing.
You okay,
I think
Shane?
we all, yeah, Shane, you're right. Or did he freeze? Oh,
Uh-oh.
I was like,
He
thinking,
found
look at that.
something.
Just hold still.
We're gonna
I
get
was
ready
trying
to do a meme.
I was trying to pull up the clip here.
Yeah.
For those who might not be, and we're probably gonna get a strike for this, but
Damn it, Shane.
Well,
it happens. It happens.
Ain't talking about old meaning of life, man. Go read that old Hitchhiker's Guide, man. You know, talking about old 42, man.
And good.
But
There you
you know, there's something about Boomenheimer. I understand every word he says.
Do you?
Me too.
I do
That's
too
the
now.
bad thing.
Joe, I can picture him working on a car and he's going to ask me for a certain wrench or socket and I'm not going to know what to give him. And he's just going to get mad at me. That's how I picture
And,
it.
I'll be standing there ready to hand it to him before he even asks. For
Yes,
it.
exactly.
That's my kind of people.
no, they're good. The only thing you got to worry about those guys is you never say that their homemade barbecue sauce is bad. They will throw hands.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
For God's sakes, Hank, act like an adult, man. And keep it down, guys, will you? I am trying to get through an article on vintage Camaros, and I've been on the same dang page for 20 minutes.
I mean, you.
That's the translation part.
The way you all just understood him is the way I understand him normally.
Right? Yeah,
Normally.
exactly.
There we go.
Oh, good.
Now I'm going to go back in the house and turn King of the Hill on.
So, like after every of these shows, your face hurts and your gut hurts. Is that?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, abdominal pain sometimes.
Here we go.
But you see that part where old George come in there and talk about tasting his own bourbon. Kramer comes sliding in. Just, always do. I tell you what, man.
Now,
Them
Joe
dang old
Brad.
New York boys.
Joe Brad,
Know
translate
about
for me.
And hey,
Joe
Jerry,
Brad, translate. What did he just say to us?
You know, until you son of a guns brought that up, I've never paid attention to how easy I do understand him. Absolutely no effort into understanding him. New York boys, man. I'll tell you what, man.
Oh wait, I am not a New York boy. I am not a New York boy.
Closer than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I can't argue that.
Tell you what, man.
What?
Look,
What you're a Boston
I
boy?
just told you.
You didn't understand me the first time?
Yeah, man,
Oh,
I'll tell you
God.
what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, get in there and talk about www.com, and you got then that naked chicks on there, man. You go click,
Stop,
click,
Shay.
click, 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 click. It's real
Jeez.
easy, man.
All right, Shane.
and
I got that. I understood that. Right.
Only because it was internet and naked chicks.
Exactly.
www.
Clickety click.
Dang old internet, man.
Dang it, like, man.
Dude. My next
So where you
video
from,
that I
Edward?
actually do is going to be horrible. Jeez, booming her.
What part of the country
This is
you
the
in?
Boom Hour
Boston?
episode.
Man, see, like you don't need to know, man. When you going, it's like you're born into this world, man. And you got like it's like this, man. The dust in the wind, man. Or like a dang old candle in the wind, man. It don't matter, man. It's all the oldies, old time. You know what I think, man? Like them dang old, I think. Therefore, you are, man.
Joe Brett, translate for us.
Dang, man, therefore you are, man.
I think, therefore, you are.
Jeez. Dang.
Amazing.
That's my dude. I used to like Hank because, you know, be like, damn it, Bobby.
Oh, Jesus, yep.
And all I
Okay,
can,
boy.
the only good impression I can do is Marvin the Martian. So that's no good.
It's perfect. It gets
There you
us
go.
off of Boomenheimer
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that good one, man. They got another one, man. What do you call the difference between them? They know.
There when I'm on
Man,
position
with
the
a
next
little
year.
squirt gun. Dang old aforementioned antiquities pursuant to the public domain title 970 of such state resource code. I tell you what, man, they're tight. Tell you what, man, he gets all pretty up and then old combing his hair rolling off to the side, man. Going like they did, like get my good side, man. He's dang old pretty sissy dad like that. Dang on costume, man. Who'd have put on a bit dang on mine,
play
man.
the whole
I'm
hour?
trying to get at his box, man. Say,
Yeah,
whoa,
pretty
man,
much.
Gonna play.
Oh my goodness. That was fair use because we were talking over the top of it as well.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Shane just forgot to hit the pause button.
I hit it throughout.
Hey,
Our
Scott,
Joe
how we
Brenton
doing?
Boomhauer from the same county.
Tell you what.
I tell you what, son.
I'll tell you
We are over our 2-hour limit. So I'm going to drag myself up into the top left corner here. I'm going to start with Steve, and let's put a bow on this thing tonight. This has been a fantastic show tonight, Ben. Thank you so much for joining us. But Steve, we'll go to Steve, and then we'll go to Izzo, and then we'll go to Ben, so he can tell us what's coming up in the world.
And just so you know,
of the Faraday antenna.
Can we ask Joe Brett to close the show like Boonhammer? That's what I want.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't mind letting loose of that.
He's gonna do a recap of what we talked about, and
exactly. All right, Steve, kick us off, buddy.
Oh, my part 97, man.
I love my brother.
Want to talk about it, man?
I just got the shipment notification for the element for the step IR. So we'll be back up to 4 element here.
So the 3
soon.
element will no longer be a 3 will no longer be a 3 element.
Yep.
Oh my God! Wait, you mean I have to settle for 8 dB a gain instead of 12 dB a gain?
Well, so the spacing's off right now. So you're not even getting the full 8.
It's only
Faraday
off
gauge.
on 40 meters. Everything else is great.
Faraday cloth will fix that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's one of the other ones. I do actually have a pack of Faraday cloth that I'm gonna wrap parts of the oven in. So
So that I don't
I
start
have to
preheating
lock
your
it
oven.
anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Ben, he has a remote station that I use, and every time I key up on 10 meters, his oven goes into preheat mode. So he came home one day from work and said, "Hey, have you been on the radio? Because my oven's preheated to 175."
She thought he was making brownies. He ain't making no brownies.
Yeah, he's like, "You making cornbread tonight or what?"
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I've got a few videos in edit that I should have ready to go by next week. I will at least have one up, if not multiple. And I think I'm going to do a whole series on the trailer.
You should. That's a great trailer, man.
I was looking at the videos today, and if I do a full end to end, it's going to be over an hour. So
That's fine.
You
Break
think
it
that
up into
trailer can drive up to Canada?
10-minute episodes.
I drug that trailer out to one of our local parks. It was 100 miles round trip, and I used almost a half tank of gas.
As long as the tires don't fall off, you're good. That's what it's all about.
That bad boy is just about 3,500 pounds, and 500 of that's tongue weight.
Oh,
So, yeah,
Wow.
it's heavy, but God, it's so nice to operate out of.
Yeah, it's
but
fantastic.
you launch the mast right off the frame of the trailer. You're fine. No
I
power.
mean,
Them buddies
using a
are.
Wolf But
We have to turn that battery on, and then there we have
There
to
you go.
operate.
There you
trying to get
CW.
I'm trying to get Tar Heel to send me an antenna to put up on the tongue.
There you go. Tar Heel, or listener, if you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we know
So-
Tar Heel is watching.
And
Right.
guess
Oh
what?
yes, absolutely.
KAMRD did a great video, guys, with the Tar Heel people. Check that out if you
Oh,
have
the
not.
Otophone. Yeah.
And the crazy
Thank
thing
you, Mike.
is,
Thank you,
Tar
Mike.
Heel's not that far away from me, so I'll just drag the trailer up there and let him mount it for me.
Right.
Give you some new ideas.
I'm
There
going to
you
buy
go.
it. You're going to put some work into it, buddy.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I want him to donate it. But that's all.
Here's
I've
my
got
video
going.
of me bringing it up to you.
You're right.
From that point on.
Put
Okay.
his name on the trailer. What the hell?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Izzo.
I got nothing going on. It's just trying to stay warm.
Oh.
And no. Okay, listen. Some people have been asking me. I'm just going to give a little hint. I said I wasn't going to talk about it, so we're not going to jinx it.
Oh, about your never mind.
My studying material. I'm up to.
Starting to turn into a Steve. You know. Tell us just a little bit. But not talk about
I'm
the rest of
studying,
it.
but
Well, no.
Don't hit the play, hit the game.
The first 8.
Got some big things coming, but I'm not going to talk about it right now.
All right, I'm not going to talk about it right now. No, I'm not going to talk about it right now.
No.
Move
You'll
on.
know
Izzo,
when you know.
Izzo, thank you for studying and thank you for putting some effort into your extra upgrade. We appreciate it. We don't give a shit about how far you are or how much you progress through it because you told us not to bug you about it. So we'll see you in a few months. I mean, I just go by what you told me, buddy.
No, you're absolutely right. So guess what? So you know what it is? I'm smoking good cigars, hanging out with some people, working on a big major town project, and just waiting to stay
awesome.
warm. So that's all I'm doing. Hint, hint.
So
Beautiful.
there's one guy in there said that Shane just did an excellent Scooby-Doo impression. No way, man! That's just crazy, dude. Scooby snacks.
Oh, Scooby snacks. Are great.
So if you run across someone who's looking for a Scooby-Doo voice actor, just send them my way.
A cameo. You can do a cameo.
I can do a cameo. Zoinks! All right. Next. Nobody's volunteering.
You have
Is
to
it me?
pick them.
Is it up to me?
You're the one that's got the order list.
I don't. I moved this around.
And then after that,
I got Steve. I got Joe Brett. I got Izzo. So I guess it's me.
Yep.
It's you.
I have a really cool antenna on the way. We'll be here tomorrow. It's an infant half wave that is like this big, and you guys have to wait 2 weeks to see it. He won't be on next week, but he'll be on the week after. So we'll have this antenna that's about yay big. It's an infant half wave. So looking forward to that.
We got the wizard coming on?
No, we have a new wizard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thought
We have wizard competition here.
I'm sorry. I thought we have
Like
a wizard right over
LARPing
here.
style wizard competition. So Ben is gonna take care of us. He's got our 2 meter 70 centimeter taken care of. This is gonna be some HF stuff. So look forward to seeing that. Ben, we look forward to seeing we want to sell you out. So let us know the next time you have stock. I know Mike's got some videos coming out in the next week or so. We want to sell you out. So keep us up to date as to when. We'll see if Beer Snack approves us to purchase something from you that we can give away here on the Clubhouse stream. So we appreciate you joining us tonight. It's been a fantastic guest. Great to get to know you. Great to get the story behind what's going on. Mike says tomorrow is going to be the Faraday antenna. So I'm looking forward to that video. Anybody got anything else?
Well, did Ben close out?
Yeah,
You
it has to
start-
go
Ben.
Ben.
Ben's last.
No.
Ben's last.
I thought Joe Brett was going to close us out as
Shane can't remember shit.
he can't.
Well, here I'll just Joe Brett can close out, but I'm just going to embrace my Forrest Gump here, and for the next few days I'm just going to be sewing, and I'm just going to keep on sewing.
All right,
Real
so
good.
That works.
So make sure you're part of the Discord group in down in the description of this video. We'll make sure Ben keeps us up to date on his status as to whether or not he has antennas to sell you or not. Let's keep him out of stock the best we can on his endeavors. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate
Thanks for having
you
me.
spending some time with us.
Thank
It
you,
was
man.
great to get to
Thank
know
you.
you.
It was awesome.
It was great to not only with the Faraday, but your backstory and all that kind of good stuff. It's great to get to know you as a person. We hope you come back to visit us sometime. You're an honorary member of the Clubhouse, so you're welcome anytime you want to come hang out with us. You're absolutely welcome. So without
You're going to
that-
regret saying that.
No, I won't, because I invited Izzo to be a part of the Clubhouse. So I
Look what
won't
happens.
regret anything from this
He
point
fed the
forward.
cat. He fed the cat
Yeah,
once.
I fed the cat. So without that, I will say 73 to everybody. And you guys, thank you for being here. 73 to everybody. We're going to do the awkward wave, and I'll hit the button.
Number 3.
Bye.
Later.
Man, I tell you what, I keep forgetting stuff all the time. Man, it's
I tell you what, son.
Boys, man. I want to thank Ben for coming. It's K5YVY.
The sultry